Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the HyperX Esports Arena. Are you ready for some Rocket League? I hope you are, because we are about to get started in just a few moments. I am very, very happy to be here with you folks. My name, of course, is Caleb, and I'm joined by my co-host, Noah. Noah, are you as excited as I am to be getting into our tournament for the evening?
Very excited to get into the tournament this evening, especially with the pandemic going on, everything settling down. It's nice to be back in a live event and seeing everything happen as it goes.
Absolutely. We have some great talent out here today, and trust me, we've gotten some sneak previews, so to speak, of exactly how talented these individuals are. And I can agree, it's going to be pretty wild out there. So I hope you're all getting comfortable. I hope you're all already hyped for things going down. I hope you got into the bar, got into a little bit something to drink, something to eat, something to keep you occupied while we get into things. Our first match is going to be coming up sometime very, very soon. I understand we already have some information on who we're going to be seeing in our first match of our grand tournament.
Correct. We're going to be looking into seeing the Destroyers versus Teaspoon in the first match of this evening's tournament.
It's going to be very, very wild. We are our teams present, but of course, everybody's going to be out here, so see your favorites, see who you're going to be rooting for. Our format, by the way, is going to have us seeing a double elimination bracket. We're going to be looking at once a team has lost twice, they're going to be eliminated from the tournament. Winners rounds will be the best of 3, and rounds in the losers bracket will be the best of 1, which again means that if you see some of your fan favorites out there going down in a match in the winners bracket, don't worry. They will have a chance to come back later on in the tournament and perhaps mount a comeback. It's going to be very, very fun, and it is, of course, going to be very, very intense all the way through. Out of all the events that we've been having recently, things have only been ramping up. As Michael has mentioned, things are coming out of quarantine. We are seeing people come back to the arena. Folks like you getting to enjoy watching it all go down. But, of course, our players aren't just here for the love of the game, even though all of them are dedicated competitors. We also have quite the prize pool on our hands. This is right there, here to make some money with $450 total on the line. First place prize winner going to be walking away with $225. Second place coming in with $126, and third with $99. That's not that bad. That's not that bad to me.
No, not at all, especially for what seems to be a fairly simple bracket tournament coming in here. Easy money to come in, especially if you catch hot in the winners round.
Absolutely. Listen, I can take a bronze medal if I have a $100 bill to wipe my tears with. Personally, I'll be more and more than happy, more than satisfied with that. But of course, these are competitors. They are fierce. They are capable. They have been through the ringer many a time, and so they are going to be aiming to win. So once again, keep an eye out, see who you love, see who you enjoy, and you might just be surprised by who you see come through with the big win by the time we get to the end of all things. I am a big fan of double elimination brackets for exactly that reason. I love a comeback story. I love seeing somebody get knocked onto the back foot and come through strong. How likely do you feel you're expecting? What kind of energy are you feeling so far in the room today in terms of what we're likely to see out here?
So far, unfortunately, pretty tame. I'm hoping everyone in the arena kind of livens up, gets excited for these matches coming up here.
It's picking up. And asking you shall receive.
That's what I like to hear.
It's picking up. Let us hear some noise out there, because not only are we relying on the HyperX competitors on stage, of course, are here hoping for your motivational voices. You can be on camera, as you can see, joining the show with us. It is all going to be a spectacle in action, I assure you. And these competitors are very, very happy to have your applause as they go out there and try to prove themselves as the best among the best in Rocket League. And of course, try to earn a little bit of money on the side to go with it. Always helps. Now, as we get into things, we are going to be, like you mentioned, seeing our first round coming up sometime soon, and that is only going to be a tip of the iceberg. We've had in the past couple of days, like I said, quite a few tournaments, a lot of different games coming through, not just Rocket League, of course, but Rocket League in particular, I've been seeing a lot of. I was mentioning earlier how there's a lot of really, really great local talent coming through, and you were mentioning seeing some really, really great things out of our players before we can start.
Correct. Having the opportunity to see some of these players warm up, I'm excited. I caught a glimpse of a familiar name, Drees, who actually plays for G2 Esports, who finished second in the last major for NA, so that'll be exciting to see him come out and play. But not only just him, especially in the warm-up, seeing these guys just kind of freestyle, have their way with the ball, if you will, going for floor pinches, all kinds of crazy activities. Hopefully we're going to see some of that in these live matches.
Very, very interesting. And again, we have seen already a couple of great moments in some of the last tournaments, so I'm not at all surprised to hear that things are going well. But honestly, with a preview like that, this might be one of the best Rocket League tournaments we've had thus far. We might be continuing to reach new heights. Just taking a glance at the field, is there anything else that's like standing out to you in terms of, we got at the very least a couple of players that are standing, sort of already showing off some of the talent and the proficiency they're going to be bringing through to the tournament here today. Are there any other subtle things that you should say our folks out there should look for when it comes to spotting who might be a sleeper hit in this tournament?
So I think something to look out for, especially in a live setting like this, is what team's going to play aggressive. Being able to take advantage of that nerves that comes with an in-person tournament. It's far different than what you would experience in any kind of ranked gameplay or online sanctioned tournament. If you come out fast and aggressive and get them kind of caught off guard already while they're still trying to recoup their nerves, I think whatever team's able to perform at that aggressive pace soon and quick going to have a clean run through that upper bracket.
That could be very, very interesting. We've seen a lot of very, very swift, very efficient gameplay in some of the past couple of tournaments. We have seen people that are clearly, like, entirely in sync, like mind meld levels of team coordination when it comes to some of the gameplays, and it has resulted in some pretty high scoring matches. We have seen some people that are able to really, really run wild, and then we have seen in past tournaments as well. I saw a game in which somebody went 8-0 against the other team, and then in the next team, they were on the losing end of going 9-0.
That's the beauty of this esport, to be honest with you. Each game has just a different feel to it. You can have that kind of mind meld, as you were saying, communication with your teammates, but unfortunately, sometimes if something would go wrong, maybe someone misses a communication or a rotation, something like that, it can throw off the whole game. That snowballs in. Next thing you know, you're down 8-0.
It certainly has been me on the down 8-0 side of things a couple of times. Not gonna lie, but you, as I understand, are far better at Rocket League than I am.
Well, not too good. I sit in about the Champ 3 elo. Nothing compared to, from what I've seen, especially in these free play cameras here, nothing compared to the level of play these guys are going to be exhibiting. So I'm very excited to be able to cast at this kind of level.
It's going to be very exciting to watch in action. I have already seen enough to know that this is going to be wild and crazy. So again, please take this as an opportunity to enjoy all that's going to be going down. Please take this as a chance to get your food, get your drinks. Trust me, the stuff at the bar is fantastic. I'm very hungry as we speak. But I have a tournament to cast. You don't have to suffer the same fate I do. I'm sitting here thinking about everyone getting food while I'm not getting any food. So fortunately, you have the ability to take advantage of that. Please do. But don't stray too far. It's a good thing you have a view of the screen from the bar, because we are just about to get started. The next game, the first game of our next tournament rather, is about to get underway. We have Teaspoon versus the Destroyers. Teaspoon on blue, Destroyers on orange. It's time to get started.
All right, we got Tornado coming. All right, it's an open net. I'm interested to see what went wrong on kickoff here. We can start already just seeing it. The nerves are playing a factor here.
Already, exactly what you said. You wanted aggression. You're going to get aggression clearly at a Teaspoon here. Tornado landed that first open shot.
Yeah, hopefully this kickoff goes a little bit better for the Destroyers. It's pretty botched, unfortunately, but they should be able to get right back into it. There we go. Much more neutral kickoff. Soul's up quick for it.
Fantastic play. And Soul is someone that I've seen relatively recently as well. We saw him in a tournament that was not too long ago at all. For those of you who saw yesterday's tournament, Tornado getting another score out that rotation. Beautiful shot.
Great pass from his teammate, too, coming across the center there. Orange team does seem to be a bit out of sorts rotation-wise. Again, probably just nerves kicking in this first bit here.
That may level out as things go ahead, but hopefully level out a little bit earlier. We do have, again, our best of three, our first of three, rather, for the beginning of the winner's bracket. So there's still a little bit of time to pick things up, even if this first round isn't all that great for the Destroyers. But I have seen momentum shift very heavily into someone's favor and not really turn back, at least that match.
Yeah, right now it seems Teaspoon is just living in the Destroyers' half. They're having a hard time clearing it out. I don't know if that's either a rotational communication issue or just the Teaspoon being able to get to the ball quicker.
There's a big hop up there. Once again, just cannot get out of Destroyers' territory, unfortunately. And there's a very aggressive dive. A lot of goal pressure right now.
Quick, good save by Pichu there.
Beautiful hit. I think I'd be able to keep this up, though. Not for very long, unfortunately, is yet another goal scored. What needs to happen here to break this?
Orange is going to have to pick up the pace, kind of read these rotations better. You've already got Tornado wreaking havoc in the orange half in the first minute with a hat trick. So it's going to be a high-scoring affair if Orange can't seem to get it together in the net.
I have to wait and see what that takes, and also what could be causing this in the first half that can be changed. Because certain things like practice and efficiency, that's going to come from rehearsal, that's going to come from running a lot of games with your team. It's not something that can be repaired mid-tournament, but nerves can be shaken off, so hopefully it's just that.
Nerves can certainly be shaken off, but just from what we're seeing, Blue is dominating the boost possession even in the orange half. That's going to have to change if Orange is going to want to get out of this.
Something must be done to get that clearance, but how they're going to make that happen, I can't say for certain. But keep in mind, once again, that these are high-caliber competitors, and there's a lot of reason to have that hope, have that faith that they will have their Mighty Ducks moment and turn this around.
Tornado's already come in. He's looking to snipe another shot. No, he just leaves it for his team.
He's that back out, keeping that neutral space. Again, the rotations on point here. They're doing an excellent job. Even on the retreat, you can tell that they are well in control of the pace of the game.
Yeah, just again, they're dominating in the half here as far as possession is concerned. I don't think in these first 2 minutes of the game, Orange has even had the chance to get an offense going on the blue half of the field here.
They're on their way to doing it there, but it gets taken right back. Defense for Teaspoon, too good, but the Destroyers have at the very least managed to stop Teaspoon from scoring a couple of times now, but their back is against the wall here.
Truly against the wall. They're really going to need to stop the bleeding here if they're going to want to mount this comeback, because as far as what we've seen exhibited so far, the blue team is just in full control. Ball possession, boost possession, faster to the ball. Things are going to have to pick up real quick on the Orange after they want anything to change. Again, Tornado coming in, 4th shot of the match. He is killing it this round.
They're lining things up for him. Nice and easy, beautiful open shot, and he is once again, and it looked like the defense just kind of let that happen there.
Yeah, unfortunate. Peachy looked to be in position to save that. He might have just been too quick for him.
It is a rough set of games, a rough set of plays thus far.
Fortunate for Orange team that kickoff seems to go for it. Man, just as I say that, we're back into the Orange half, unfortunately.
How quickly things can change, unfortunately. But again, Teaspoon's rhythm is so on point, it didn't surprise me all that much. They're able to recapture control even if they do have a momentary lapse, which is the rough thing. Even if the Destroyers do get into fighting shape here, they're going to be in fighting shape already with 4 points on Teaspoon's end of things.
Yeah, as far as anyone hoping to get on a roll here, it's going to need to be the Destroyers. I mean, just judging by the score now, we're really hoping Teaspoon doesn't get any hotter.
Yeah, and yet they just might, at the very least, having to fight your way not only to a point at which you are matching with your opponent, but to a point at which you are exceeding them by enough to close that gap is going to be really, really rough with another hit by Teaspoon.
Tornado's just being fed the ball from his team. He seems to already be assuming the role of a striker for Teaspoon. 5 goals in on the match. I don't think he's going to be complaining about his performance so far.
Not at all. I'm certainly not complaining. It seems like he is really, really setting up this team to be something to keep an eye on as the tournament goes ahead. I am very excited to see whether or not this is going to be the case in games moving forward. Because right now, it's really just a tale as old as time. Peachy coming in and getting some of the spotlight here.
You can see, too, as he went up from the air, there was no contesting from the Orange side, and that's just going to lead to disaster almost 9 times out of 10 there. You got to get up and challenge that ball in the air, or else you're just leaving the net open.
Certainly, and as we continue on here, it looks like we are due for another potentially. Is that going to be able to? Not doesn't quite have the angle, but that's an excellent setup. Who's rotating through? Peachy is blocked by the defense. Holding back some, but again, 1 minute 35 seconds left on the clock to make up a 6-point gap. It would require such a phenomenal recapturing of momentum. They would have to become a whole new team live on camera.
I think it's going to be after some effort from a deity at this point, especially with the way blue team is controlling the ball. Even when Orange seems to be kind of pushing out of their half, we're getting clean back passes back to the third man. That's just keeping it in the Orange half.
Yeah, it really does feel at certain times that even when the Destroyers do manage to get it back onto the Teaspoon's end of things, that Teaspoon is already aware of that happening. Like it's all according to plan, and they are cycling back so they can get a long pop-up shot, just lobbing it potentially straight for goal. We have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining. Teaspoon really going to have to try and get something insane going here, because for the majority of this match, Teaspoon has been all over the Orange pitch. Boost control, ball control, they've had it all.
They may yet have the clean finish here, unless the Destroyers can at the very least get onto the board before we finish up, but they are looking less and less likely to take that win. Again, I don't want to be pessimistic, but 7 points in 39 seconds seems like a bit of a tall order. In your professional opinion, is this on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of difficulty? We're looking at an 8, a 7?
I think at this point we're definitely looking at a 10, especially from what's been exhibited on the kickoffs here. Oh, it actually looks like blue is giving him the consolation goal because they want the Brazil. For those uninitiated, the Brazil is a reference to a soccer game professionally where Brazil in the finals of the World Cup, I believe it was. Unfortunately, can't remember the team they were playing, but the whole gist of this is the final was 7-1, so anytime this scoreboard pops up, you have anyone in chat or in the esports scene getting excited.
That is crazy, and they will be honored with the Brazil. And for that to be the way that we get things started today is crazy.
Starting it off with the Brazil.
That's our first game. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but this is how the last tournament went as well, where the first game was like 8-0.
Yikes.
And so we're getting a repeat of some very, very intense energy, it seems.
Yeah, as the game winds down, I'm certain Teaspoon's happy with the Brazil, but I can't imagine the Destroyers are as thrilled. Luckily for the Destroyers, though, this is again a double elim tournament, so they're going to have a chance to make a run in the lower bracket.
And of course, with this being winners bracket here so far, even winning this first one doesn't mean they're out of winners just yet.
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe, again, maybe that is first game jitters. Maybe they just didn't have the ability to reassess and get reconfigured mid-game here. But in this next round, they are going to completely awaken, hit that second form.
Well, they're going to have to, especially.
It really is a tough run of things so far, regardless of whether or not we get to see the Destroyers make a resurgence here. Absolutely, Teaspoon has earned some support, earned some love from the crowd. Certainly, I'm hyped for them and excited to see what's going to be going down moving forward. As much as I'm hoping for the Destroyers to really catch the second wind here, Teaspoon's not getting any worse, certainly.
Well, I don't think they're actually given some leeway here. And as we get into game 2, oh no.
Get things started. We see the kickoff favor over, and that is a solid score. Once again, Teaspoon off to a hot start.
Yeah, again, the Destroyers' rough kickoff problems. I don't know if they're having issues communicating who's going to go for it, or if they're unfortunately just a little too slow to the ball, but these open looks on the net are just going to kill them.
They gotta have that coordination start to finish. Hopefully not a repeat of the last game. That's a little bit better, but guess who's in prime range? Peachy getting it lobbed on over to the Destroyers' end of thing. We see that control over the ball coming through.
Oh,
beautiful.
The pre-jump pass just missed it. Unfortunate.
And yet dangerously close. We're not going to get a lot of lucky saves like that. In fact, Tornado makes up for it.
Yeah, I think Tornado's definitely going to be looking for a repeat performance of that last match. If he can even get a hat trick, I'm sure he's going to settle and be happy with that. Teaspoon just seems all ready to be in form. The Destroyers are really going to... They're on the back foot, need to work through those nerves ASAP, or else we're looking at another Brazil potentially.
Hopefully not, but Seoul is off to, again, a nice, solid early push. They are really not in control right from that kickoff. We're seeing the break pattern, the way they spread out is not serving it very well at all.
No, they need to clearly communicate who's going to be going for that kickoff and then rotate accordingly. Otherwise, blue team's just going to have those quick and easy looks off the kickoff.
Certainly we are seeing, regardless of how the Destroyers are doing here, a lot of that exact sort of thing, coordination and communication out of Teaspoon that has been make or break in the past couple of games that I have seen across this and a couple of our other Rocket League tournaments. You can really feel who has the better communication, and it has been a pivotal feature every time. Even when you do have players on your team that are excellent strikers, excellent with their angles, things like that, if the team is in sync, they're just going to step ahead a point at a time, bit by bit, and they're going to have that margin on their side guaranteed.
We have another one coming in from Seoul, so it looks like Teaspoon's spreading the wealth this time around. Tornado's being gracious to his teammates and allowing someone else to get on the board.
I mean, 3 minutes, 42 seconds on the clock. He can still pick up that hat tricks for everybody. See how this kickoff goes for the Destroyers. Once again, we're getting to see Zolte point there. Still clips into Teaspoon's favor. That is going to be a ridiculous angle here. They don't have quite somebody in position to clean up that shot, but they are at the very least, once again, putting that pressure heavy on the Destroyer's goal.
Peachy's going up looking for the ceiling shot. Oh, bumps into his teammate who seemed to be pre-jumping there. I think at this point, Teaspoon's looking for some highlight reel plays.
Win in, down, style points, absolutely every time. Certainly they have a healthy margin on their side. There is also 3 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock.
And there is a good look on the net, too, for Orange.
This might be good. This is a Destroyer's opportunity. We are in enemy territory for the first time in quite a bit, and we are no longer in enemy territory.
I think they got a bit overexcited seeing the net open on the blue side. Unfortunately, all overcommitted. Now we have an open look for Teaspoon, but again, they seem to be looking for the highlight plays this time around.
This might give the Destroyers an opportunity to regroup, refocus, and really capitalize on the slight openings being shown. They are definitely going to need that because, again, even if the Destroyers get back into fighting shape and are able to trade blows with Teaspoon here, they need to clear that margin first. They need to get up 3 points, and then it's an even fight.
No, of course. And at this point, the Destroyers just need to get a hold of that ball and get possession. Just exert some sort of pressure. Anytime you're letting blue team run around with the ball like this, it's killing the clock, and the clock is not your friend right now.
Not at all. You've seen many a game start to be on the upswing, and then the clock runs out. It's not a feeling you want to have, especially when already there's a win against you. Getting knocked into losers, again, might be an opportunity to regroup and refocus in a more long-term format because you have a whole other opponent to go up against. But keep in mind, that is a one-and-done situation if you end up in losers bracket.
Exactly. So they're going to want to definitely, at least if they're going to get some consolation out of this series, if not win this current game here, try to get the nerves together, recoup, get into that later bracket with a better mindset, and hopefully some better rotations.
There lies the rub. And that Nerves is the better potential cause for this. If it's literally just a lack of coordination, that might not be a repairable, a doable quick fix with the time frame we've got here.
Seoul just completely eliminated from the net. Tornado easily able to walk that one in.
A nice casual stroll into a 4-0 lead.
Again, Orange team just slow to the kickoff here. It's something they're going to have to work on is when they head into that lower bracket, or at least as the picture paints it so far.
They're keeping a close eye out. There is, again, that phenomenal pressure in play. And Teaspoon continuously maintaining complete control over the ball. The Destroyers diving for it, not quite getting it.
Close
That's
on
a
the
setup.
floor
It's still into
pinch.
rotation. They don't quite have the angle, a slight missed shot.
They want the highlight. They got 1:15 to get it done.
They certainly, I feel like the past game is a highlight reel in and of itself, and if not that, then the numbers on record are going to definitely tell the story. Once again, we're seeing some strong motivation. It's got to be a morale boost as well coming into the next matches, knowing that they're able to start off such a hot performance.
Of course, especially in an in-person tournament where I had mentioned earlier with the Nerves, you come in playing like this, you immediately start feeling better. So it's a good sign for them leading into the next round of the winners bracket.
Particularly, given that we have an audience out there that
Finally
might
an
be
open
big
net.
fans of Teaspoon at this point. Gonna hear the love for Teaspoon carrying through. No doubt this is gonna be replaying in everyone's minds when we get into the next game. They have an opponent with a whole new set
Three
of
in the
skills.
air. That would have been a very interesting pre-jump equation there.
Oh god, a lot of virtual mosh pit going on mid-air.
When you have air superiority as you've had throughout this match, the kind of plays you're allowed to go for, I suppose.
Circling right back around again. Again, we start to consider the idea of having an open shot on Teaspoon's goal, and they all sweep through and we're right back into the Destroyers' end.
And that just runs down to their rotations. Even when the ball was starting to creep towards that blue half, we had either Soul or Peachy sneak back through and get a back pass to Teaspoon. Next thing you know, you're already right back in the orange half.
We are running out of time here. In fact, we are out of time. The longest second in Rocket League, passing us by. That ball hits the ground, and that is that. Teaspoon comes through with a phenomenal 2-game streak.
A dominating 2-0 performance by Teaspoon.
Absolutely incredible to watch in action. We are expecting great things from Teaspoon, aren't we, folks? Because they are off to a hot start, and this is, once again, only the beginning. The race to a very, very hefty first place payday may have just begun for Teaspoon, but keep in mind there are many other high-octane competitors waiting in the wings, and we're going to be taking a quick look at the highlights from this match to fuel our excitement and enthusiasm before we see who our next set of competitors are going to be.
So again, you can exhibit just in this highlight here how important kickoff is in really any game mode. Threes, particularly the communication's important. This kind of botched kickoff here just leads straight into an empty net.
Clean play starts to finish. It really was Teaspoon's game entirely. But the question is, will the Destroyers be able to fight their way out of the losers bracket and show us a whole new side of themselves? And more after, will Teaspoon be able to keep this momentum up against the next opponent?
I think Teaspoon's biggest worry, especially when they get into the next round of the winners, is finding someone that's going to, if they match their speed, how they're going to play at that particular moment. And unfortunately, it looked like for the Destroyers, just they weren't able to keep up, whether it be ball possession, boost possession, or even the aerial play. For the Destroyers to shore up and make a run in this lower bracket here, we're definitely going to have to see better rotations. I mean, at the very least, someone getting the kickoff to make that easy 50 at the beginning. Better communication rotationally wise, getting the ball clear to the other half. It's going to be rough, but I mean, hey, if anyone can do it, why not the Destroyers?
Certainly, certainly. And in an interesting twist, as much as we talked about nerves in this first game, that may be what we see for Teaspoon later on if they go up against an opponent that can match that aggression, match that energy, and then we may, but at the very least in that situation, we can say, all right, we know they can perform well when they're in the flow state. Now we got to see if they can recover from being rattled.
Yeah, 100%. Getting shell-shocked like that in a game where especially you're coming off a hot performance like this one, it can set you back, but it'll be up to them to kind of calm the storm, get back into it, get into that flow state, as you said.
If they do manage to come up against some very, very strong opposition there, it'll all come down to whether or not this first victory is going to be a morale boost that helps them keep their nerves together, keep their coordination, remember that they are strong, are capable, do have the skills to be making this happen, or whether or not they are going to be second-guessing the performance in the first game. But again, if you folks out there are rooting for Teaspoon, if you are big fans already, then you can help them out, because if they hear the audience giving that love out there, then certainly they're going to remember their own past performances and greatness, and they'll be looking forward to the next big W, because of course they wouldn't want to disappoint their adoring fans out there in the stands, showing love and supporting the arena. Thank you for being here.
And that's the beauty of these live tournaments here. Any kind of performance, especially when you're playing good, you get the crowd behind you. It's like an unnatural force that can get you to play better.
Absolutely. Some of my fondest memories in esports. I remember before I even had aspirations of casting. So I had favorite moments from live tournaments where people are going, and absolutely every one of my favorite moments involved a crowd going crazy.
Of course, that's the beauty of any live sporting event. You get the crowd behind, especially whether it be a home team, away team, or just the support of these local teams such as this tournament here. Yeah, it gets everyone energized, especially the team on the field, and you can see it progress through the gameplay.
Now, and here at the arena, we have such a dedicated fan base of people that are super into esports coming here on a regular basis. You know, the giant pyramid with an esports logo on it tends to attract some attention.
Of course.
And so as a result, it does a really good job of drawing people in so that you can come here so often and you can be a person that people know. You'll walk on stage and people will just start cheering for you because they remember you, because they know what you're capable of the last couple of times you came through, because they remember cheering for you at other given times. And so it starts to become not just a motivational force in the moment, but something you can rely on, something that gets you through even the practice and the walk-up to get here.
Of course.
Things like that.
Yeah. And then so heading into this next game here, we have Teaspoon versus the Destroyers. My apologies. Teaspoon versus the Legend Killers heading into this next round here. Looking forward to see if Teaspoon can keep up this same momentum that they had from this last game. Hopefully, I'm sure they'd take another Brazil in game one, but I'm sure the Legend Killers won't be happy to let that happen.
Certainly not, certainly not. But now Legend Killers is already, name impresses me. Looking forward to it. I like the idea that we're going to rise and we're going to take down the big name folks. And is that going to be, who knows whether or not that is going to be a premonition, one could say, foreshadowing, considering that we have been gassing up Teaspoon excessively so far. Is this where Olympus falls? Perhaps?
It certainly could be. I mean, if Legend Killers have anyone to guard Tornado, especially in this next game, we'll consider them a Legend Killer at the rate he's playing.
Which is a very, very good point. That is our first game, fully broadcast. Everyone saw it. This gives our next round competitors an opportunity to say, okay, we got to take care of Tornado. And they know who to focus on. That could be an advantage in their favor. Meanwhile, Legend Killers, unexplored territory.
Interesting to see a car switch from Teaspoon. Usually when players get in a groove, especially in an easy game like that, they want to kind of keep the same vibe. But you can already notice Teaspoon making the switch from the Octane into the Dominus.
It might be suggesting that the change in tactics part of the way through the tournament was a plan from the beginning.
Certainly.
Certainly they have to in the back pocket. Or it could mean the Teaspoon knows a little bit of something about Legend Killers that we don't.
Already we're seeing some more equal grounds as far as gameplay is concerned.
This is some solid pressure on Teaspoon. Legend Killers clearly capable of a little bit more coordination and lethal threats.
Oh, what a
game.
Shot from Slayer. The control in the air to get that up and over the defenders.
Beautiful play there. We are off to already a hot start. But is this going to be indicative of things yet to come? Certainly the flow feels a lot more balanced, like you said. So this is definitely a different game right off the bat. But
I think
not necessarily a bad game if Teaspoon can recoup here.
I think it's going to go back to what we expressed earlier. Getting kind of rocked out of your flow safe. They're not going to be able to kind of... Oh, the double demo into the net.
No.
Slayer again.
Oh, no. This may be the potential worst scenario out of the ones we discussed for Teaspoon.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're gonna have to feel the shell shock from that one. The double demo and the boost steal. It's not a good setup for Teaspoon off the kickoff.
Bad combination, but not lethal by any means this early on. The trouble is the fact that this has come through so quickly means that if we maintain this pace, then sometime very soon the lead is gonna be absolutely unreasonable.
Especially if they keep up with this pace. But a good sign, we just had a quick counterattack that just barely went left of the net. So there is still life for Teaspoon, no doubt.
So that's going to be a little bit off kilter, thank goodness. But that one looks like it's going to sail right past a little bit late on the jump. That is 3-0.
Oh, unfortunate for Soul. He might have been a little faked out by Rug there going across the center, but an absolute laser top bins. It's going to be hard to save from any angle.
I will say, not a bad defense. A little bit off, but clearly we have not seen a shattering of the coordination that we saw in the first game.
No, not at all. I felt like they were all positioned well for it. Just that shot came in so fast, you got to be able to react to it, and unfortunately the defender was not able to.
Oh my god!
Oh, dunked into the net. Slayer's looking to take the role from Tornado as the highlight reel of the tournament. Coming in, he's nailed every shot. Granted, his teammates, the dunk off the save too. To be able to angle your car in that 50 to get that on net, that's an unstated skill that kind of goes under the well.
This is wild to come off of 2 back-to-back games that were so heavily in Teaspoon's favor, and now for them to be dealing with this much pressure.
And this is what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast as far as being able to come out with that aggressive mindset. You're seeing demos. We didn't see that in any of the games further before this one. These guys are coming out trying to dominate possession, get the demos, control the ball. Slayer's up again.
Ooh, deflected at the last minute, but someone rotating back around and trying to pick it up. Might have a better chance. That is going to be too high, but we have someone coming in for the dunk.
Oh, just over, luckily for Teaspoon.
But
Drug coming in.
Bucket Drug coming by and cleared it up shop. Absolutely wild to play there. Again, just when you think you're done, just when you think you defended, there's another one. These rotations are on point.
Very aggressive. Blue, again, just as we noticed from Teaspoon playing the Destroyers in the earlier round, they're living in their opponent's half right now. This almost violent play style, getting in, taking the boost, immediately going for whoever's in net, trying to clear the way for the shots coming in.
So once again, we find ourselves in a very difficult situation. But in contrast, we have seen Teaspoon do such rapid-fire shooting that we know they're capable of that level of coordination. We know they're capable of taking those quick shots that if they are on point, they can go through very quickly, even if your opponent is not necessarily making a lot of mistakes. You only need a little bit of an opening and the exact perfect execution. So it's possible. 5 points, 2 minutes, 40 seconds. It could happen. Maybe, possibly, perchance, perhaps.
If that last sequence we just saw is indicative of what's to come, Teaspoon seems to definitely be better as far as getting on the backboard and getting their rotations down in defense. They were able to clear that out pretty simply. As I'm saying, that Slayer's setting up on the backboard there. Oh, just over. That would have been a crazy angle.
Absolutely. A tough shot to make, but they had the positioning for it. Once again, just sort of hovering neutral, waiting for our next chance. There's another demo going through. Once again, that violent play style coming by. That shot is on target, a little bit off, and Tornado was there one way or another to make sure that didn't sink.
Tornado for sure has been the one on the backboard getting these clears. We're going to have to see the rest of the Orange team hopefully getting in, filling his role for him when he's out trying to rotate.
You mentioned as we got started there was a car swap. Who was that on again, by the way?
That was on Tornado. In the previous games, Tornado was in the Octane. He switched into the Dominance.
So do you think that is... Do you think that may have been a misplay, given what we are seeing here, that Tornado not being on the Octane, not pushing that aggression, might be a flaw in their own aggressive strategy?
Car choice typically is a placebo effect for most players. Even though the Dominus does have a distinctly different hitbox than the Octane, a lot of the times it is kind of a placebo. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him switch back into the Octane if he's unhappy with the way he played, but it also wouldn't be too crazy to see him just stay in the Dominus.
So it's largely not going to be the deciding factor, but it may be reflective at the very least of mindset.
Of course.
Let's see whether or not that mindset is going to be doing any good for him, because certainly right now they are far from their initial victory. But this is, of course, once again, best of 3. We might, as a result, see things pick back up in the next round, even if this start is a very, very heavily favored one for Legend Killers.
I think the bright spot, at least for Teaspoon, is that for the remaining time that's been played through this game since they scored their 5th goal, the Legend Killers scored their 5th goal, the defense has been much better. It hasn't been as far as open nets or easy looks on the net.
And it's going to go straight towards, but Soul gets the defense. Back over to Legend Killers' end of things, but there's nobody in range to make a shot, and the defense is once again circled back around. Doing a fine job protecting their own goal.
Something I've noticed through the game so far, Teaspoon's particularly Tornado on Teaspoon has had the center pass in front of the blue net, but no one's been there for him. I wonder if they're sitting too far back on defense, maybe a little too hesitant to go up because of the pressure from Killers, or if they're hoping that Tornado is able to get the solo play out.
Excellent question. Can't really say for certain at this point, honestly. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about the potential plays and what it seems like they're going for here. Just because things tend to all fall apart at the very beginning, and it's looking like Legend Killers is going to walk away with that 6-0.
Yeah, definitely coming out strong. Like I had mentioned, this aggressive play style is going to do wonders for them, especially if the other team isn't able to cope with it as it goes later into the series.
All right, the last 2 seconds. I can't imagine there's going to be much of a divergence from what we've seen here thus far, unless one more shot can go through. No.
Nope, no more shots.
Nope, not at all. Anyway, the win for the expected here, but that is, of course, only our first round. We are going to need to see something immediate in round 2 to turn things around. Legend Killers, as you can see on camera, are already off to a phenomenal start.
Yeah, the Legend Killers have nothing to complain about. As far as ball possession, having their boost management taken in the blue half there, or I apologize, the orange half, they had possession of the boost of the opposing team there. They just haven't. Game 2 going in here. The kickoff seems to heavily go in the Legend Killers' favor, and already a quick shot into the net.
So that's the opposite of what the hope was for Teaspoon here.
No, definitely not the start they wanted, but thankfully with how volatile kickoffs can be, this isn't necessarily indicative of how the rest of the game is going to turn out.
Now if it happens again,
then that's going to be an issue.
That'll be a bad sign. So let's all watch carefully there. There's a big kickoff going right over to Legend Killer's end of things. Much better energy for Teaspoon.
Legend Killers opting to go for the fake kickoff there to just get immediate possession. Oh, close on the shot there. We might have a follow-up coming in.
We might indeed.
Oh, the own goal into the net. That is unfortunate. It was right over the defender's head. That's hard to defend really at any angle, especially when the shot's coming in this high.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
Oh.
You hate to see it, but once again, we're in a situation where this could turn around. The problem is, will it? The problem is not just the possibility of Teaspoon regrouping here, but also understanding how much work it's going to be to counteract that. One way or another, they desperately, desperately must prevent themselves from being in that long point deficit yet again.
A long arcing shot coming from almost center field. Looks like there was some confusion on the orange back wall there as far as who wanted to go for it. They also, very frankly, might have just been low on boost because Blue has made it a point throughout this match to come into that corner and steal the boost from them.
We're seeing some great things already. Legend Killers is setting up on Teaspoon, who set up on the Destroyers in the first game. I'm not sure what this means for our tier listing so far, but at the very least, we know that Legend Killers is in top form. That's wide.
Another open net. The rotations on the orange side seem to be falling apart. It could be a combination of nerves or kind of realizing they're backed up against the wall and they need to get more aggressive, but to their detriment, unfortunate.
Teaspoon fans, please voice your support for your team. The backs are against the wall, but if you want to see the comeback happen here, you're going to need that positive energy. At the same time, if you are becoming very quick fans of Legend Killers out there, I understand. And you've certainly got some good prospects ahead. Clutch deflect there by Soul stops that from going through, but they are still under fire. Run there, back over into Legend Killers territory. Is Teaspoon working on a shot here? We know they got the skill for it.
Oh, I had that open look on it. No, this might be a shot right here. And blocked by Slayers. Good defense. Got the 50, and it actually worked out better for him getting it center as it did.
That's not quite on target there. Don't have to worry about that. But we're seeing Chris Bones take that up top, trying to set up for an aerial, but not on target there either.
Calamity in net right now, but Tornado was able to get that clear. Chris Bones up in the air, quick to keep that in the orange half. Slayer showing the control to the pre-jump pass. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Pugadrug with a great shot reading off of the pass.
The alley-oop on that. Beautiful at work. Look at the coordination, the timing, the angles.
You can tell Legend Killers are definitely feeling themselves right now. That type of play right there you don't typically see going for unless they're very confident they're going to be able to get that in.
Absolutely. Whether or not this is going to be it's dangerously close to once again a shot going through there, but whether or not this is going to be a repeat of the first game, certainly Legend Killers has proven themselves to be a dangerous threat in this tournament. Even if Teaspoon does make a comeback here, we are going to be keeping an eye out for Legend Killers.
And unfortunate for Teaspoon, even when they're getting the looks where they're Legend Killers overcommit and they're getting the clear to the other side, a couple times I've noticed through the game, Slayer's been able to get back real quick and kind of block it all off, and then next thing you know, you're already back in Teaspoon's half.
Defense is absolutely on point. That is a big lob shot, however, that's right on target. And Teaspoon gets onto the board. Tornado reawakens and gets a first point for his team this game and this match overall.
Certainly not how Teaspoon would have wanted to script it, as it was an own goal off the deflection from two Legend Killers players, but they'll take anything to get on the board and get some momentum on their side.
Use that energy, accept the benefit. And hopefully that'll rattle Legend Killers a little bit and give Teaspoon the opportunity they need to recapture some morale.
Again, you notice Legend Killers switching it up on kickoff, going for the fake again, just to opt for the ball possession right off the start. seemed to work out better for Teaspoon this time around, though, as they didn't get the immediate goal.
Indeed, and that's going to give some breathing room for a much-needed breathing room at this point. Are they going to be able to capitalize off of that? Deflecting a shot there. See, Legend Killers is going for it, but will Tornado be able to land up another shot? He's lined up. The defense is rotated around successfully. Absolutely choked out.
Chris Bones showing some excellent car control there, staying in. He was in the 3v1 play and still managed to get the save down.
Rotated back out again. Teaspoon trying to recapture control, but
oh, just off the right side there. It was a good shot. It's a hard angle.
very, very dangerous work here. That's being pushed back. This might be lined up. Teaspoon should be able to rotate out here to have a good shot. Beautiful mid-air work, never mind.
Just the car control exhibited to get it off this back wall here from Pugadrug into the pass to Chris Bones. This definitely into a flow state, as we were mentioning earlier. These guys are feeling each other right now.
Absolutely. This is the kind of well-oiled machine that you can only get from good coordination, good practice, really knowing your teammates and their strategies and styles very, very well, and just being able to read the game as it happens and know that your opponents are on the same mental wavelength.
Of course, and the synergy they have is just showing as these games have gone on.
It is a spectacle to watch in action, the kind of thing that I could only hope to get, not only if I were to be a little bit more polished in the game myself, but if I were to be able to find other people that were more polished in this game on a more regular basis.
Well, luckily you don't have to look too far because we're being able to watch it happen in front of us here.
You can watch it happen. Don't get to play with it very often. But certainly we can all use teammates that are a little bit more.
Oh, that
like
is the
this.
best look Teaspoon has had all game, and unfortunately no one was there to capitalize on it.
It is a rough thing to see happen, and especially considering how infrequently they've been able to make opportunities like that come through.
Of course, it's got to be a bit heartbreaking for Teaspoon, especially to see it just sitting on the goal line like that.
Under a minute now, 54 seconds on the clock. We are just about to finish things up here.
Looks like Legend Killers is trying to get the second Brazil of this evening's tournament.
And they just might, is the tragic thing. A whole minute worth, or a whole 41 seconds at this point.
Does not look like it. Teaspoon is at the
never
very
mind.
least able to seal off that Brazil potential.
Go down with the bang.
Excellent wall
Fire
shot
back.
from Tornado. Preference for the Dominus, you get those crazy powerful hits off the corner of the hitbox, so that is a benefit you get from that.
Well, there we go. There may be some play to this. After all, perhaps the swap was less beneficial than expected, but still has some niche applications here. Not going to get the Brazil, but still definitely looking like this is going to be wrapping up with Legend Killers in a nice hefty margin. Teaspoon, however, going down into loser's bracket, is far from out of the running. They might be able to use this ability to fire back at the very end. Even if they don't take that win back, getting onto the board and not going down without a fight can be a saving grace. A little bit of salve on the burn.
Absolutely, and I think they also have the memory of that first series they played too, where they came out and they played hard. So they know for sure they can play at that level. It's just going to be a matter if they can recapture in the lower bracket.
That is going to go rolling gently towards it. So close, yet so far.
Legend Killers denying even the
Unfortunate.
consolation goal.
That is unfortunate, but we are finishing up. This is the last second underway as we are looking for one potential final hit. But these angles are not looking conducive to that by any means.
Yeah, Killers seem to look to try and keep it up for as long as they can here. And that looks like it's, oh,
Not quite.
the control to
Not
keep it in the
quite.
air. This might be the next
Once
goal.
again, going for a big lob, but going to be able to sink one more.
Just
No, the
short.
defense comes back around, not letting that go through. This is a long 1 second, huh? We are hanging out here in the final moments of our game, trapped in time.
Off the back. Well, these guys are really living up to that unspoken rule one of keeping the ball up for as long as possible. And
Oh,
there's Slayer putting in the nail of the coffin to this series. 7-0.
one more on the way out.
Top Bins, first one up. You got to be able to contest that if you're on defense. But at that point in the game, whether anyone was there or not, it's kind of arbitrary.
It is a wild display. Such phenomenal play by Legend Killers that certainly they got to earn themselves a few new fans as well. It's here for Legend Killers coming out on top in a big way. And looking excited for the continuation of our games. We go further ahead into the tournament. We've got some winners on record now. And as a result, we have a little bit of understanding in regards to who we're going to be seeing going head-to-head against each other sometime soon. And we also know a little bit of who's heading into losers bracket, who we're going to be seeing try to make that comeback potential later on into the tournament. And based on what we've been seeing so far, once again, we'll be cutting to some highlights so we can revisit that footage. How are you feeling now about Teaspoon coming off of this game after seeing how well they did in the first?
I think it probably plays into that bit of shell shock again. They were definitely being outsped to every ball. The aerial control, that aggressive play style that Legend Killers was putting out, all the demos, clearing out the nets, owning the boost in the orange half. If Teaspoon in their next few games aren't able to get that under control and be able to rotate better to clear the ball on defense, they might unfortunately be handling more gameplay like this.
Be rough to see. I mean, certainly this has inspired a lot of confidence because yet again, I feel like we can definitely say that whether or not Teaspoon was playing poorly at points, and I don't think they were. I think the gameplay for Teaspoon wasn't bad, really, over the course of this game, but certainly Legend Killers is showing a level of talent that makes me think even going further ahead, even with a lot of pressure, we are still going to see some very, very proficient skill out of them, even more so than we got from the example of with Teaspoon versus the Destroyers in the first one.
Certainly, and as these highlights are exemplifying, Slayer particularly exhibited some excellent car control, no matter in what situation he was. This backwall play here, great getting it off the wall into the clear, and the synergy with the passes, whether it be Slayer to Chris Bones or Chris Bones to the third man, it was just wheel just turning. They had it going. There's no problem with them there.
There's a lot of fantastic mid-air work here. The aerials in this game, Legend Killers' control over the sky was very, very impressive here. I can imagine that being a potential saving grace, a very, very difficult thing to deal with for some of our other teams coming through. But I don't know. I've got a feeling that we are going to see yet again a rising star show up and prove themselves to be a formidable match for Legend Killers.
I certainly hope so, especially with these next few best of threes coming up. We're hoping to get out of this 2-0 pattern we're getting into here. Get some close series involved.
Let's get some clutch games. Look at some things that are finishing 5-6. Let's get some things that are finishing a little bit more on the even end of things. Beautiful sync there. Again, all fantastic moments that should be inspiring some confidence. I hope you all are enjoying things so far, but trust me, it's only going to get even more wild and crazy from here. You think this is wild? Then just wait until the end of a few minutes when we come back from break with even more of our Rocket League tournament for the evening. We will see you in just a few. And welcome back. It hasn't been very long at all, has it? I hope you had just a little bit of time for, if it were me again out there in the audience, that would be the brief window through which I focused very intently on trying to eat the food that I forgot about because I was distracted by the gameplay. And I am now like fighting the urge not to choke because I'm like, oh, it's back on. Oh, dang it. So hopefully you're doing a little bit better than I would be. And hopefully, again, you are enjoying that food. I'm so hungry. Noah, how are you doing so far as this tournament stretches on?
Doing good so far. Let's actually take a brief look at the bracket here.
Give you this opportunity to revisit how things have gone thus far and what we're looking forward to. As you can see, we have Legend Killers and Teaspoon finishing up Legend Killers in a 2-0 situation. And for our winner semifinal, we have the boys up next.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the boys come into play on screen. I unfortunately didn't catch to see their gameplay, so excited to see what they're able to bring, especially facing up against the randoms.
Yeah, I mean, hey, popular TV series, popular team here in Rocket League. Seems like it's going to flow well.
Certainly.
And if these past couple of games are any indication, we'll find out very soon. It won't be very long at all before we go, okay, they got the sauce. It'll be almost immediate if it follows that trend we've been looking at here today.
Yeah, the first minute will definitely show who's going to be in control of the game if we're following the pattern of the last couple series.
But perhaps things will be a little bit more, like we've talked about here, a little bit more contentious in the upcoming matches, and we will, as a result, get the opportunity to see them really tested in this next game.
All right, and we're getting ready to actually head into the next matchup. Again, it's going to be the boys versus randoms.
A very, very interesting beginning, no doubt, to the boys' stretch here through the tournament. Will they be set up as a potential answer to Legend Killers later on, or will we see somebody else that is being led to the slaughter?
All right, randoms again getting a nice goal in the first 12 seconds here. Looked like a bit of miscommunication on rotation from the boys in the back half, which leads to this net here.
Big hit to start things off, but that gives us an opportunity to see how the boys perform under pressure.
Can tell just immediately off the 2 kickoffs that it seems to be far more neutral in that respect. So hopefully not going to be too many quick turnaround goals off these kickoffs.
See some good air work here by Randoms. Glancing blow there as they rotate back out. That is an open shot.
And there he is, as mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. We have G2 Drees with us. Hard to find an angle that this guy isn't going to be able to hit. Top bends, doesn't hit the crossbar. Excellent shot.
Already we're seeing signs of greatness, certainly. And already as a result, we have reason to potentially be sweating a little bit for the boys. We mentioned we usually get to see a little bit of something at the very beginning that's indicative of the energy for the game overall.
ESouth good to get up and contest that fast.
Ooh, that is close. That is close. Someone around to catch plus. No, they are not.
Good on Drees to get back and cut that off. That was an excellent counter-attack opportunity that was shut down.
Back out again. Big lob nowhere near goal. Could be potential beginning of a setup. Rotate back out on the side.
Still looks to be some confusion on the back half rotation with the orange team. They're bumping into each other.
No clean angles there. Just to go for it regardless. Nearly gets it, it looked like. That could have been a hit.
Might have an opportunity here for the boys. Oh, Wells is able to clear that one out. And Drees is sitting waiting for him on the backboard.
Not going to happen there. But we have an open lane on that
there's
blue.
the counteract opportunity.
There we go. As support in the audience as the boys land their first shot.
Yeah, Random's definitely getting caught being a little cheeky on the backboard there. Easy counter attack to get the goal straight down the middle for the boys.
Lets us know the player is still alive for the boys, and that lets us know that those opportunities are not going to be let slide. Things come up. Now they just need a little bit more. They can tie things up here, and then we can do some trading. We might be getting our back and forth game that we wished for.
I'm loving the variations in kickoffs from these different teams, opting for the fakes for the ball control at the start.
And they're going to go sailing off into the distance, coming up along the side.
Okay,
Once again, potentially setting up for a hit.
Drees looking to show off a bit of his car control here.
That. The spirals.
Unfortunate. It looked like an easy clear for the boys, but it snuck right above the defender there. Again, you're seeing G2 Drees here. I mean, this guy was a grand finalist in the last major, so that kind of gameplay is what you're going to come to expect from him throughout this tournament.
So does it feel like this might be a bit of a stacked game for Randoms here? I mean, we're seeing some excellent work already, but the boys are firing back. How are you feeling about their counter performance so far?
Well, Random certainly has that X factor in Drees, but the boys have been keeping up. You would think being only down by 2 in a game where your opposing team has a grand finalist in the last North American major, I would take 2 goals as a fair opportunity to keep it going.
How many goals is that? How many you say?
All right, we're going to make that 3 courtesy of Drees. Again, I think he came off the ceiling for this.
Looks like, let's take a look.
Oh, no, he did not.
From a mile away, right down center lane. And just decided to slap that on in.
Sol was in position, but just unfortunately, Drees was there to angle the ball right into his car.
We continue on with even more of the same.
Oh, we got some pre-jumping going on here.
Ooh,
what a shot!
Oh my God, the angles!
This shot isn't able to happen though unless the looks like Help is able to get that pass straight across the Wellis. Excellent pass, excellent execution all around.
Look at the work. The boys keeping their heads above water, but we are sailing towards that 7-1 again.
All right, good kickoff for the boy, except for that touch, unfortunately. Hopefully they're able to corral that.
He's yet again in control here.
Just trying to keep possession there, bring it back to Heps.
Going for it now. Looks like we are going for it now. This is gonna.
Looks like just the boys are having a hard time getting a pin on what's going to be coming in as far as attack-wise when Blue gets to their half. You have Specs sitting there on the boost, needs to be in net. That's rough. You got to have more contention on these passes, especially as they're coming towards your net.
It's rough to see happen so far. This is clearly a, once again, game in which we see somebody start off with a hot energy and it just never leaves them.
Good opportunity for the boys here as they get into the blue half.
Opportunity indeed, sliding by. That's going to be an open shot there, not quite on target, but it gets tipped in by Wellis.
That's
successfully brings us to the Brazil.
quite the redirect from Wellis there to get that down and under. He was very close to the net. Again, the Randoms were looking like they may be punished for being cheeky and getting kind of comfortable in the orange half, but boys unable to contest them on the way back.
Now, 2 minutes 5 seconds on the clock. This is starting to look a little bit dire, but once again, this is best of 3, meaning even if the boys do take the loss here, they might be able to bring it back. The question is, what do you do about Dreezy primarily?
Just make sure whenever he's in the air, you got someone challenging him. You can't give him space on the ball, whether it be on the ground or in the air. The guy has excellent car control and is going to be able to work around if you just don't have someone there in front of him to at least annoy him. Great pass across the center to keep possession from the blue team. Looks like Orange is just starved boost-wise. Is looking pretty dire.
And yet again.
Speaking of the X Factor, there comes Drees with the perfect top right shot into the corner. Hard enough to save when you have boost and are perfectly positioned, but when the net's looking like that for Drees, he's likely going to strike and hit it every time.
Got to do everything in their power to make sure that those kind of situations don't line up in the first place. We talked before about seeing who you need to target and who you need to focus on, and that's definitely going to be Drees here. It's definitely going to be a defeat Drees, and then we can play the game against this team.
Yeah, certainly calm down the X Factor that the Randoms have there and then try to cope from there. Scoring opportunity maybe for the man, cleared right in. We have Drees off the ceiling pre-jump. Oh, man.
Yet another spectacular bomb.
Yeah, the Randoms are just having fun at this point. These are the kind of highlight films you'd look to see in a freestyle compilation. Boys can't be too happy to be on the other end of this.
We are looking at a potential double-digit score and potentially a double-digit margin just between the two teams with a minute 14 seconds left on the clock, and we're already 9-1.
9-1, and it looks well in the driver's seat for Randoms to decide how well this lead's going to get on.
We are already looking at potentially an open lane here. 1 minute remaining officially now. Top of there is not going to be on target for a hit, but we are once again applying pressure. Oh, but that looks like it might be open. No,
Wellis is there, ready to clear it back out.
It was a good shot at the very least. It was aimed right.
We take what we can get.
So something.
You can just see, even when they're, for lack of a better term, kind of clowning around right now, the communication as far as who's getting the ball on back passes, keeping it in the orange half, it's that communication and rotation that sets the difference in most games of this level.
Absolutely. You're seeing a key deflect there. Not going to be able to get that through. As continuously, Randoms will not allow any breathing room.
All right, now it looks like they're trying to kill the clock.
Dive and slap.
Quick on Wellis to get back there. I don't know, the perfectly executed speed flip into the clear.
Mid-air, once again, as that goes rolling, going to get tipped further. Will that be guided all the way through? No! Comes around clean for the defend, and that is going to wrap things up. The double-digit numbers not quite going through.
Yeah, Randoms and their X Factor seem to have the early domination in the series. We'll see if they'll be able to carry it into the next one. The boys are going to have to get together on their rotation, and as I mentioned earlier, make sure they get someone pressuring Drees. That's going to be essential to getting the game back on track for them.
And if they don't, it'll be someone else's problem, someone who is going to no doubt have a lot to deal with here. But honestly, it's a lot easier said than done.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Just you can tell, by the way, from what Drees was playing in the game, as far as his car control in the air, it's almost unrivaled.
And yet we are continuously seeing matches in which somebody takes the initiative, gets a big 2-game streak against somebody, and then the next game, they get completely dominated.
Exactly.
Is it possible for that to happen, considering that in this case, that would mean somebody coming out with an aggressive, high-margin winning game against a team that has Drees on?
I mean, I want to see it for sure, but if anything's indicative from what we've seen already, I think we're going to be hard-pressed to find that.
Will that be Legend Killers then later on?
It very well could be.
It may be. We're so far lined up to, certainly we got Legend Killers on display, we got Drees. It seems like a winning combination to me one way or another, though.
Soul with a great shot. Just as I had mentioned, them being able to get the possession here in the quick counterattack caught the Randoms out with probably a lack of boost and maybe out of position, but perfectly placed in the corner. Even for someone like Drees with the speed and control he has, you're not going to get to that ball.
Not easily at the very least, and we have some momentum on the boys' side, however. It's possible that this will be the beginning of a long and profitable game for them, despite the issues in the first round, but that's going to take a lot of hard work and some good fortune.
This is a good touch from Heps off the backboard to clear it out. Drees going for the block over center. Wellis able to get back to get that quick touch. That was looking dangerous.
In mid-air once again, coming up. Not quite gonna be able to get that to stick.
Looking for his double tap.
Ooh.
What an angle. Oh, man. You'll notice as he goes in, the car control you need to hit this kind of shot is insane.
Is that a curveball? That felt like a curveball. I really don't know how you land a shot like that, but he made it happen.
Just practice, practice, practice. And again, when you're playing at the high level consistent like these guys are, these are the kind of shots they have to make in order to score.
We're getting some support out there. We're hearing some voices calling out from the crowd. Please feel free, because certainly if this is enough to get things excited, then we are going to be getting loud in here by the time we do get to see folks like Legend Killers coming back through again, trying to bring an end to randoms.
That was crucial for Spec to get up and block that. Drees was looking for the pass set up to Wellis over the center.
Take it back out again. Once again, we are applying pressure to randoms here, but will the boys be able to capitalize? We're 1-1 at the moment, so things at the very least haven't been as fast-paced for even randoms as they were in the first game. They're facing a lot more coordinated defensive line.
Side post and out from that last shot from the randoms, so the boys happy to take that.
Another attempt there.
This could be an opportunity. Drees committed. Wellis taking control up at the back wall. Great defensive touch. Already keeping it back into the orange half.
Back around. Not quite on target there. The defense managed to stop him. At the very least, doesn't have free reign to take shots at the goal.
Bit of a double commit on defense, but the ball thankfully cleared pretty friendly to the corner.
That is not going on target either. Wellis is not going to be able to rotate around in time to try and hit it in, but he will capture it and got it right back to center for a tip.
What a shot from Wellis. The ceiling reset. Oh man, the control to get the four wheels under, aerial down. Drees wanted it, but Wellis said, "This is my highlight. I'm taking this in."
You've had enough. Let me get on the footage. I want to be in the highlights thing at the end of this game.
Interesting kickoff from the boys there. It worked out for him coming in late. I don't think Drees expected that.
Again, gliding by. That is going to roll over, bounce off the top there. And is that the dunk set up? Not quite there, unfortunately.
That is an ambitious double touch angle from Wellis, but I would have loved to see it.
A hit there. Glancing off goal. Still not on target, though.
You're just seeing Blue able to control the ball at will, bringing it back to their half, collecting boosts, bring it back to the orange half just whenever they please. Orange is really going to have to try and get in and exert themselves in these plays if they want to have any ball control.
That might be. Not quite. Doesn't have the angle and doesn't have the speed to get ahead and to try and do anything with it. Drees, however, on the ceiling is going to rotate it back over in position, but the defense is all over the goal.
Triple commit in the center there. The boys are certainly anxious to get this ball out of their half. Crazy back pass attempt for Drees. Almost worked out, but we have a counter attack opportunity for the boys here.
Rolling. Are they going to be able to get that lined up for something here?
Oh, this dead time on the ball is killing them. You got to catch them when they're out of rotation.
Back onto the wall.
Great
back
clear.
Back to the territory. Beautiful indeed. Up. Still
Drees
not
looking
quite
for Wellis in
open.
there. Oh man, these guys are going for some Pulse Clan level highlights here.
They are absolutely
Wellis
showing
back
out.
just in time.
But considering that we are in a situation in which they don't have that massive lead on this side, this is still a winnable game for the boys. They only need to land one more shot to bring us into overtime at the very least.
If they aren't careful and they decide to get maybe a bit too cheeky, I mean, that's how that first goal in this game went in, so it's possible.
Indeed it is. There's not much time left on the clock, though. That does mean that we are in constant critical danger of that last-minute shot sneaking through.
Like right now in these opportunities, randoms are low on boost. Orange needs to push up and be aggressive. You've only got 20 seconds to win this game.
Side. Trying to guide it on ahead. Not quite
almost
able to hit the angle to get that through. But now this might be an opportunity here.
Crucial demo from Wellis there. Able to just retake control. It looks like that airball 50 is going to be the end of it.
It certainly is. That glancing off the ground is going to bring this game to an end. It was close, a close battle. Nearly neck and neck between these two, and ends up finishing 2-1 for that round.
Yeah, unfortunately for the rest of the tournament, watching randoms just freestyle and keep this as relatively in control as it was, it's a rough sign to watch for the rest of these guys. So I'm excited to see if anyone's going to be able to keep pace with the randoms and make these games closer.
It certainly seems like it's going to be a tall order. Once again, take a look at these highlights and tell me whether or not you are seeing any easy lanes through to handling gameplay like this. Randoms doing spectacular thus far.
Just the speed to their touches and how they're able to control it. It's so many uncontested looks on the net. That's not a good formula for any team to win, let alone if you're playing someone that's got an X factor like Drees. I think it's going to be crucial, again, these kind of counterattack quick plays. A team like the Randoms, when they're playing like this, that confidence, they're going to be pushed up far a lot of the time. You're going to have someone sitting on the backboard trying to hit some crazy angle or something to that effect. The easiest way to punish that is get those quick counterattacks off of clears straight down the middle. That's how the boys got their one goal in this series. And I think that kind of defensive and almost reactive gameplay is what's going to be crucial to getting on the board against the Randoms.
So you're playing online. You go into a tournament. You see Drees on the other end of things.
I likely forfeit. I think just at my level here. No, obviously in an event setting like this, if you're playing, it's honestly a bit of an honor to play with someone who's played at the highest level in the North American RLCS and even be a grand finalist at that. You got to kind of take this as some great experience.
Yeah, I would be in the same situation. I would like seeing a name like this and getting an explanation. I'd walk into the game with the understanding that I'm going to lose.
Exactly.
No delusions of grandeur involved at all, but at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to try your stuff, see what slips through. If you manage to get a clean, intentional play on Drees, even if you do not win that game, that is a legit source of pride. You take that back into the workshop and you grind that set as much as you possibly can. You know what's an effective tool, at least in one situation.
Yeah, anytime you have the chance to play against someone to the caliber that is Drees, that's excellent practice. There's no better way to polish up your mechanics, whether it be defending or offensive, if you're playing against somebody at that level, because they will constantly put you in situations that make you uncomfortable. It's those uncomfortable situations that allow you to grow in your repertoire, if you will, of what you can do in game.
And this is something very, very great about Las Vegas when we have such a great crop of local talent, when you have the ability to, again, pull up at the casino on a regular basis and run into people that are of Dreams' caliber.
Yeah.
More often than one may expect even. The ability to casually come through and get people that are capable of going to national level tournaments on a regular basis, people that are big name players, is not only great for being able to hang out with people like that and get that kind of exposure, meet people that might be people you look up to, but to be able to play against them on a somewhat regular basis, be able to not just get that flash in the pan experience of this one time I ran into somebody that has a stream, you know,
yeah, of
online.
Course. It's a far different experience than catching them in ranked or anything like that.
Yeah, like a month or two, on a month or two basis, you meet somebody that has like big name potential. That is it puts you in sort of like a pressure cooker situation almost for growth.
Yeah. This next match we have into, we're going to be having the Legend Killers up against Randoms. It'll be interesting to see how much closer they can keep this, if they're going to be able to jar the Randoms in any bit. Again, I hope they're going to employ that reactive gameplay to get those goals in on the Randoms. They're going to have to come in aggressive and fast to kind of throw them off their game.
It's looking crazy so far. I really, really cannot wait to see, given how amped up Teaspoon was, and then how amped up Legend Killers was by defeating him. What are we going to get when these two go head-to-head?
Well, we're going to find out as the kickoff's going to be happening any moment here.
I'm so excited. I really, really think that we have a strong chance of seeing some signs of true greatness from Legend Killers. We know Drees is going to be crazy. There's no question. It's not going to happen that he's suddenly going to play bad.
No, not at all.
The question is when Legend Killers is tested against that, and again, the man has two other teammates. I don't mean to despair.
No, and by any means, of course, we're going to end up talking a bit more about the NA Major finalists, but Wellis was exhibiting insane redirects and angles, especially off double taps and getting passes out.
Already beautiful deflect there. Not leave the other two team members off of the roster. Of course, we have some power supporting Drees here. And even say supporting Drees is a little unfair, but certainly they showed out. They had their own highlights moments, and they are going to be names worth keeping an eye on here. Legend Killers, whether or not you're able to best this foe, you're proving yourselves well up until this point. Let's get some energy in the room as Legend Killers does their best to go up against a champion.
I mean, already you're seeing the Legend Killers are up in the air and contesting these balls, so that's a great sign for them. The backboard defense, as Chris Bones just exemplified right there, is something we weren't seeing from the boys in the last match.
This is absolutely a much different game from the first moment. Now, with all the reads that we have made in the past couple of games where somebody is up by 2 by the time we clear our first minute, and we say, well, we know how this game is going to go. Here we are, 3 minutes, 54 seconds on the clock, not a score on the board.
And I'm happy to see that change. I'm waiting to see these close games. That's what really brings out those clutch, pivotal moments.
Absolutely, and what may yet bring out a true testing situation for randoms. We have seen them come through with some big ones so far, but seeing them really held back, we might get to see some even more high-level plays, not just from their opponents trying to match them, but from randoms.
Of course, and you're already seeing there's a bit of a battle in the midfield for boost control. Wellis with an excellent carry out of his own half. Dries was looking to fullback that one into net. Great block from Chris.
I'm seeing no opening. I'm seeing no laid-back defense. Everything has been very intense. There have been a lot of shots that were dead on target.
Yeah, you gotta, when you're positioned well, you're in a better spot to make those saves.
The defenders so far on either end of the field are doing phenomenal work.
Excellent pass to the center to get that clear. A lot of times, passing and defense kind of goes under the water just as far as importance. Getting those clears one-to-one teammates, it's far easier to get those clears out as opposed to trying to take that solo play.
It is good looks so far. That, a little bit dangerous.
Good shot on net. Wellis was able to get up quick for it.
And still, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. No scores.
Great sign. I'm loving the gameplay so far.
Absolutely. They are fighting hard here, and it's a very effective. Clearly, Legend Killers, like I said, that shot has not been taken off. Ooh, that's very, once again.
It's close. Unfortunately, they get bounced off one of the Legend Killers players. Good read on Bones to keep it in the blue half. Great demo as well, disrupt the rotations. If Legend Killers are able to establish the boost control in the center as well as take...
Is that on? That is on! A beautiful hit! Did you see how narrow a shot that was?
From the ground, too. It just goes to show even the fundamentals, like shots like these from the ground, they're useful and they come into play. You gotta have somebody on Dries, unfortunately.
Even so, it was close to being deflected there. The defense wasn't sleeping. So
Nope.
It's still very much so alive, but with how long it took for our first shot to get onto the board, one must wonder how long is it going to take Legend Killers to fire back? Will they be able to? We might be finishing, honestly, 1-0.
Great pass. Oh, just off the top bar there.
Close. Very close. They're keeping that pressure up, so we might still get it before we leave. Blues, end of things, we are not going to get it before we leave Blues.
They have to be careful, though, keeping that pressure in because you get far up too close. Just as I said, the strategy against the randoms, you can easily get counterattacked if you're too aggressive.
Back out over to the other side. That is going to get lined up real nice for us here. We're going into the air to try and get that out of Legend Killer space.
That was a great touch from Slayer with minimal boost, just utilizing that back wall to get the clear out of there.
Going back over to the other end of things, but not for very long.
Yeah, Heps is looking to take control. He's got Dries. Oh, great clear from Slayer to cut that off. Chasing down Wellis, hoping to get the demo.
Ooh, once again, pushed back. Random's under threat here, but Hug-a-Drug has no open opportunities there.
Oh, that demo on Slayer might be crucial.
Oh,
Wellis up top. What a shot.
Beautiful scoring yet again. Random so far.
That's all set up from that demo down center from Heps, though, leaving that net open and that defender rushing to get back in. Just wasn't able to get there in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, these demos have been mostly in the favor of randoms so far.
Well, it seems the effective ones have been. Legend Killers have been getting a couple demos in the midfield, but the person getting demoed on the random side has been able to spawn back and get in defense pretty quick.
It has been a great way for them to open up a little bit of space and get these shots made. But the fact that we are, again, seeing them pressed to the point which they're only getting those opportunities really when they clear the field a little bit.
Great save from Heps. He was the last man there. If that went by, that was certainly in.
Close, but not quite there still. With 30 seconds remaining, that might be what we are saying about this round overall. This is, again, best of 3. So there is opportunity here. There's not quite going
there
through.
There it is. Chris Bones with the cleanup.
In from a mile away.
And that's desperately needed. Now they just got to hope for some possession off a kickoff to get something going fast.
It could happen.
It's a very close save from Heps.
20 seconds for Legend Killers to try and bring this into overtime. Can they do it? It'll take a very ambitious, very risky shot. They might just do it here. That goes sailing. It's not on target there. That one, however, is. And Drees actually eliminates a chance of them not winning this round, because with 10 seconds left on the clock, I don't think that can be done by anybody.
That is a brutal dagger, just as we saw Legend Killers kind of come to life in that last 30 seconds there with all the pressure. But it's, again, when you got the X factor like Drees on your team, these are the kind of things you can rely on.
It is, at the very least, a backbone of talent that is not going anywhere. And again, it's not as if the rest of the team is sleeping.
Not at all.
So that is going to absolutely be the round, finishing on our final second. Spending some time keeping that in mid-air, certainly, but it's not going to be bringing us into anything.
One last one off some Calamity in the center field there. Maybe it looked like a pinch off of the demo. I'm not sure. We'll see in this highlight.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
God, I couldn't even see through the fire.
Yeah, well.
Couldn't catch the action through the flames.
Fortunately, it's not a goal that's going to matter in the long run. I'm very happy to see Legend Killers up in the air and challenging. This was actually a close game, so if that's indicative of the next game, we might have a series that gets beyond 2-0.
And this is exactly the kind of thing that we were talking about, something that was going to be a little bit more difficult than talking about the need to challenge mid-air, randoms needing that pressure against them for there to be any chance
100%.
of capturing the energy.
As far as that aerial superiority that we saw exhibited in the last few series of this tournament, that's just not there. There's a lot of contested balls, whether it be in the midfield, coming into the net. Backboard defense has also been something that I've seen improve on the side of the Legend Killers.
Will it improve even further this round? It gives us an opportunity to see Legend Killers get themselves onto the board and bring this into a 1-to-1 situation.
Crazy angle by Drees, almost hitting that in.
Very nearly, and no doubt we'll see something just like it before we finish up this game. But so far, it seems like we are once again holding on to,
Heps is going to want that one back. That was just off. He had a perfect open net waiting for him.
Not quite yet, but certainly getting closer and closer to it. Once again, applying pressure.
This is looking good for the... just across the front. Wasn't expecting the pass to come in that fast, unfortunately. This could still be dire.
That's on target, but...
Great save from Wellis.
Ooh, but a demo. Oh, and never mind.
These demos can make or break a sequence like that. Instantly relieve any pressure when you're able to just delete two of the other team members.
Over. It's a big lob.
Yeah, these guys look to be playing some boomer ball right now, just kind of testing about, see who's going to be coming in first. Crazy control from Drees to be able to stay in front of that ball like that after kind of a risque touch off the backboard.
Absolutely not quite enough, however, to set up a clean shot here. Once again, Legend Killers are giving randoms a run for their money and not at all giving them any easy opportunities.
No, just in that last look, too, the way they were trying to get that look on that was a three-man passing play, but Wellis decided to head out and go back for defense.
Again, it took a bit for us to get our first one onto the board for anybody in our last round as well. So is this going to be another instance of history, not quite repeating itself, but certainly at least rhyming?
If the gameplay keeps up the way it is, I wouldn't be surprised to see this game go into OT.
We might just see it.
There's the open net Legend Killers have been looking for. Randoms caught upfield a bit, and Legend Killers able to strike and take advantage of that.
You're on the board, first on the board. In fact, that's got to be a little bit of momentum on your side, knowing that you managed to get the first opening shot in the next game, leading now. But there's 3 minutes 12 seconds on the clock, so this could go anywhere from here.
Definitely a confidence booster.
Definitely, and yet, who knows whether or not we're going to see many more shots overall, let alone how many of them will be in Legend Killers' favor.
Slayer up looking to contest this. Wellis is able to beat him to it. They got the clear, but Heps is waiting for them, unfortunately.
Shooting
Over net, this could be dangerous.
It's up top.
Oh, the control to pancake it against the wall like that.
It's a risky situation to be in there, but they once again navigate it very well.
Panic in the net for sure. They were good for them, unable to communicate and get out of that situation unscathed.
No one behind it to help with that shot.
Great shot, but what a save from Drees. Placed perfectly, but he was able to get back to it.
Still not
this
on
might
target.
be it. Oh, just out of the top.
Slightly off to the side there. We are now back onto the wall.
Legend Killers keeping the pressure in by getting that corner bounce. You'll notice as they're in the half here, they're looking to try and steal as many corner boosts from the blue team as possible, get control of the boost, kind of keep control of the pace of the game that way.
And And Control has been the name of the game thus far. We have seen everybody that has come through with those big leads really has the momentum firmly on their side start to finish here.
Chris Bones has been excellent at assuming the man of the third role in this game. He's sitting just far enough back to where he's able to get to the ball and pressure if they're trying to make it clear, but he's also close enough. He's been hitting a few strikes on net just from that third man spot.
It doesn't seem like that's going to be changing anytime soon. We are deep into this at this point, so we know they got the staying power. It's not just being able to hold back for a bit against that hot energy coming off of randoms. They are well coordinated, not rattled by any means, and if we finish on 1-0 for Legend Killers, that's going to be a wild, wild thing to have added to the data we've been collecting so far.
Yeah, certainly going to be ground-breaking from the performances we've seen earlier with these series. All just over the defender. Is that going to be open? Great time to get back from Pugadrug.
Side of the right. Yep, and it's going to be knocked through almost centimeters away from a connect.
Slayer coming in last minute, being the hero there to clear that out of net. Looks like Orange is going to be able to get control and get this out of their half. Is that going to be an open net? Great bump onto Drees. I think if Pugadrug wasn't able to get that bump, Drees might have been able to get behind that. Excellent awareness from him to be able to get, hopefully, a corner of that wheel and kind of spin him out.
So shocking to see Randoms in the situation now, but 50 seconds left on the clock. Will that be enough time to land these two shots based on the energy we've had this far?
We could see some different kickoffs. Well, just not off that one, unfortunately, but Legend Killers coming in hot this time around. Great defense. They're communicating really well with each other, being able to clear, especially in those high pressure situations where you have all three of the randoms just stacked in front of their net.
That's a big lob. It's not quite on target though. The defense is there to keep that away from goal. 30 seconds remaining now. More fantastic aerial control. That might be someone's behind them to help pick it up. No, not unfortunately there.
All right, Drew's looking to get that center pass over to Wellis.
Sailing it again.
Pep's taking control. It's going to be over the backboard. No one's there to take the shot. 10 seconds left. Legend Killers just have to hold it down.
Top. Gonna be tipped again. 3 seconds left, and this is...
That's going to do it.
As baffling as it is, that is a Legend Killers game. The fire back is here.
What a great game from the Legend Killers. Again, I think every player stepped up in some form of another. Slayer was great coming in on defense, clearing out some of those shots that were just lingering in front of the net. Chris Bones, again, excellent third man. He just seemed to always be there on the rotation. When they needed him, if he was close, he was there. They needed him to defense, he was right there to get out of there.
Yeah, that was a thing of beauty to watch in action, I gotta say. As someone that was hoping we would see exactly this, hoping we would get that close, very, very intense game. It doesn't get much more intense than that.
No, it doesn't.
And it sets us up now for we're 1-1.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the randoms play on the back foot. They haven't had to endure that so far this tournament. So to see how they're going to be able to take that L and either cope with it in the mindset and continue to get onto the next game, we'll see how it works out for them.
Surely several wins already, and the fact that you have somebody that is a big name as Drees on your side is like an inherent, just a constant buff to the morale stat.
No, of course. I don't think they're sweating over there by any means, but they need to take note of what was going on in that last game.
And of this one, as Pugadrug once again shows off the fact that he is apparently vying for that MVP spot and has immediately landed a first hit.
Great shot, too, reading the ball off that backboard. Placed it well, too, so Wells had no opportunity to get back to that.
What are we coming through with it this match? Legend Killers, and truly showing that they are living up to the name.
Again.
Hoping that these two brought head-to-head would break the energy of defeated by one, then completely defeated by another, and we are absolutely here.
Yeah, we definitely got a series on our hands now. Back again to the placebo effect of car changing. I've noticed Drees is out of the Fennec and back into the Octane. See how that affects his gameplay.
Now, do you feel like there's a particular kind of energy one's going for with these swaps? Is there any commonality between people that?
What a save from Chris Bones! Oh, unfortunately not enough as Heps is up quick and able to clean that up. I want to see how Chris was able to get right off the bar. That's unfortunate. Again, the car control to get up top like that and hit it downwards and not hit the bar, insane amount of skill.
This has been thrilling already so far. Very, very fitting considering we're getting into the latter portions here of the tournament, and it definitely feels like it. This is climactic.
Yeah.
We're not even at our actual finale.
100%. These things are really starting to heat up.
Long toss there. Goes up to the side. We are not in range of a clean shot. Circling back over to neutral. Trying to get into the air to do some control work there.
Great clear from Slayer.
Still with such fine control in the air.
Yeah, I've noticed from all of these players, they seem to have no problem controlling the ball when they have it.
The ability to manipulate on such a fine level truly got the hands of a surgeon on Stage Force.
Had a demo in the back there.
Oh, that's dangerous. Not too dangerous, but still. In the air, once again hitting that.
Drees is going to try and take control of this. Great challenge. Double touch center, no one there for it, unfortunately for the Legend Killers. There it is, the pressure mounting and taking over. Random's able to get a nice look on net here from an excellent touch from Drees center.
That's over. Sailing by. Interesting three-way collision there as well.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate. Looks like the Legend Killers may have ran into each other, but with how Heps ended up placing that, I don't think it would have mattered either way.
So nothing to feel too bad about, but certainly with a demo right at the start, something to motivate one to really crank up the gas here.
Another demo, it's open.
Gonna be able to capitalize though.
Great job by Pugdrug to get in front of that. Just in that one too, man's owning the midfield right now. Got the boost steal from Drees, that's crucial. Anytime you can leave Drees the X Factor without any boosts, you're gonna be in a pretty good situation.
Big toss up there. Once again, somebody's coming by and trying to line up a shot. Legend Killers needs to get another point off the board to get back to that nice, comfortable, even range.
Both teams seem pretty even as far as boost control, even on their own halves.
We are seeing two very, very talented individuals that are constantly competing for control, neither ever truly getting it.
No, and right now they seem to just be going back and forth as far as which half they want to play the game on.
It is a difficult decision to make, apparently, and very, very deferring opinions.
It's a great touch off the ceiling.
Oh, that is
there.
open. So clean by Drees.
And these kind of reads are just habitual for him. This is the kind of shot he's asked upon to make just naturally. For what for us would just be a simple ground roller, that's what that is to him right there.
Keeping things off again. That is all right, off to a sensible start. Chris Bones off to it again, trying to go for that ambitious opening.
Good for Heps to get up quick on that and shut it off. Looks like we have an open net here. Ooh, maybe trying to be a little cheeky, kind of spoiled an opportunity there.
Get back around. Tossed up, just still not quite there. They're gonna go sailing back out of the orange end of things. Legend Killers might have an opportunity here, but Henson, just no one quite lined up for a shot. All the work it takes to get an opening potentially completely deprives one that has somebody that is in lane to potentially actually go for the hit.
Yeah, it's quite a Herculean effort to try and break down a defense, especially one of the caliber that Randoms have been exemplifying so far this tournament.
With a minute 40 seconds left on the clock, one or two more shots may be all we see, and Legend Killers needs both of them to be them. That's not guaranteed by any means.
They have a chance here coming in on the breakaway. Oh, Slayer's gonna wish he had a bit more control of that dribbling in there. Still goes center. What a shot from Chris Bones.
God, what an angle. Look at that, comes out of what feels like nowhere.
That is I just can't state enough how excellent of a pass that was from Pugdrug. So much power on that if even Chris is able to get a small touch on that, it's gonna launch right into the net.
That was spectacular, and just might be exactly what Legend Killers needs. They need another shot here so we can tie things up. Cannot stress enough how likely it is that we are going to be looking at that overtime, especially now. These two feel very evenly matched.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Randoms just try and keep the ball in the air and waste as much time as they can.
That can backfire, though. Legend
Yep.
Killers get the shot right at the end.
We have a possible counter-attack opportunity right now. We got a 2v1 situation looking for blue in the net. Oh, so close. Right off the bar.
Not quite there. We're rotating back. That's not on target.
That's going to be a crucial demo from Heps onto Slayer there to give him relieve some pressure. Back, double touch opportunity. Great save from Slayer. I'm reading that.
Long toss
Favorable
there.
pinch.
Goes sailing. 30 seconds remaining here on the clock. Legend Killers, you got to get one more hit to bring this into overtime. Meanwhile, Rando just needs to burn time.
Great challenge on Drees there to keep the ball in the orange half. Very smart of Wells to take his time with that ball, control it, not just boom it downfield.
That's not on target for goals, so don't worry about it too much. So they try to loop around and do something with it.
Great bump onto Drees.
3, 2, 1. We're on our final second.
Someone on the backboard, get it mid. Keep it up.
They're going to be able to send it anywhere.
Oh, blue team's just going to be looking. There it is. There's the kill. Very close game. Good to see the randoms come back out and kind of make that statement like, hey, we are the team with Drees, okay? We're going to keep scoring and winning.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Legend Killers coming out with some excellent gameplay, keeping it close, 3-2. I think you got to be happy at the end of the day just staying close with a team like you're playing.
Absolutely. That was a great game for everybody involved. Thank you all so much for again voicing the support. We had a lot of community love out there during this game. Truly a great show. Thanks to y'all. And thanks to our competitors out there. So if you are very excited to see randoms going further ahead, let's take a quick look at the highlights, of course. But I hope you're out there as some randoms fans, so some Drees fans specifically. Looking forward to seeing more of him because he is sailing ahead. And right now, Legend Killers no longer an issue. We may be looking at a total Drees run of things, like start to finish. He may be taking randoms right through to that grand finale.
If he keeps performing the way he does, and again, it goes back to the way you were saying, he does have two other teammates, Wellis and Heps, that are very excellent in their own right. So it's going to be hard to kind of keep up. But again, it's the same story as the first game where Chris Bones in that third man role, he's crucial for these Legend Killers, just keeping the pressure up as well as being there in defense to make those saves. Slayer, on the other hand, just the defensive magnate, getting save after save. It's going to go back to, again, who's just going to win the possession game. I think boost control is going to be important, especially when you're playing somebody who can play as fast and quick as Drees does. If you can deny him the boost, you're taking a whole facet away of his gameplay.
Pugadrunk showing off some excellent skill and positioning here in this game. Got to give him props for the
100%.
things he managed to land here. And in the last game as well.
Yeah, that pass he had center to Chris Bones for, I believe it was their second goal. That was an incredible pass.
It was a thing of beauty, to be sure. The specificity of some of these angles, it's hard to believe it's intentional with just how minute the control has to be for you to be able to make these things happen. And yet, we see it replicated game after game.
Oh, yeah. The difference that brings these players out above like just your normal ranked players is just consistency. These guys, this isn't just like a one-off thing these guys are doing. This is every single game for them. They exemplify this kind of car control and shot ability.
And as a result, we are going to be able to expect more of it moving forward. This is going to be the way things are. We talked about getting to see players demonstrate some of their talents very, very early on, but in every game in which we saw somebody come off of something really hot and then falter, it wasn't because all of a sudden they were different people. It was because they were put into very, very high pressure situations. They were facing a lot of difficulty from the other end, and they just never recaptured momentum. But we still saw fine control. We still saw some degree of coordination, and here we saw a lot more resilience to the opponents starting to take the initiative than we did in any game, any matchup so far.
Yeah, and so after this 30-second break here, I'm looking forward to get into the continuation of this series. It's definitely been the most exciting one so far.
So let's cut to that. We'll be right back in just a moment. And just like that, we are back. And it's time for us to dive right back into our Rocket League tournament. Already things are beginning hot and exciting. We are seeing some champions being forged. We already have a sense of who's going to be waiting us in our grand finale. But now it's time to take a little stroll on down to losers bracket and see who's going to be coming through with that comeback opportunity, that underdog spirit. Whether or not we're going to see an upset later on in this tournament is going to be partially decided here by who is going to be going ahead forward to face some of our rising champions.
Exactly. And this next series, after we wrap up this one, we're going to have Teaspoon versus the boys. So hopefully they're going to be looking to make their run back through the losers bracket. They're either going to be meeting up with the randoms or Legend Killers, and either one's looking like a rough opponent. So
yeah, it's going to be best of one for this
in
one.
In that losers bracket, yeah, it's going to be a best of one.
It'll be a very make or break situation.
Very much so.
Off to start. And on top of that, once again, who they're going to be going up against after that. We've got gameplay underway already, but no, I did want to ask, based on who we have here, Teaspoon and the boys, based on everything that they did to get here, who are you feeling? Just gut instinct.
I'm probably just going to have to go with the boys. From what I saw from Teaspoon, unless they're able to correct a lot of the issues that I saw, it's going to be a rough outing for them.
It is going to be a tough one to be certain, and the boys already off to a hot start. And we already got some support for him in the arena. Love to see it, love to hear it. I'm sure they do as well.
Very interesting card choice. We're seeing the breakout come out. Usually in high-level gameplay, there's kind of a meta of card choices. You have about 3 cards. You'll see the Fennec, the Octane, and then the Dominus. That's what all the pros use. So of course, anyone that picks up the game is like, oh, I better use one of those 3 cards. But I believe that is E-Salve in the breakout there. Yeah, the perks of this hitbox is it's very flat, so if you can land a flick or get even a corner touch, that ball is just going to get launched.
Keeping that in mind, we have some very big shots already going through, exemplifying your point. Once again, we're seeing a lot of aerial work.
Ooh, close one. It's good defense by Teaspoon to get across and cut that off.
Going to be able to see more of that. Is that what is going to be holding steady over the course of this match here?
And there is Soul coming in with that dagger shot. Unfortunate on the goal line there. It looked like it was Soul that maybe had an opportunity to get to that, but just wasn't able to get there fast enough. Oh, no, it was E-Salve in that breakout. Again, as flat as that hitbox is, even if you jump right on time, there's still a good chance that ball is going to get over you, unfortunately.
So we are now 1-1. Very similar score to our last game, but very different energy when it comes to the 2 teams out there and how they are competing.
Yes, certainly. It looks like everything's kind of slowed down a bit. They're having more of a mind to control the ball as opposed to just kind of get everything high octane and going.
And does that read to you as a potential strategy for, again, whoever comes out of this is going to have to go and fight one of our winners bracket players later on? So are you seeing right now strategy that can apply in not just this game but moving ahead, or are they going to have to come out, do whatever it takes to win this, and then absolutely have to go guns blazing when they get back into winners?
They're going to absolutely have to go guns blazing. The speed at which those upper teams are playing is just almost a couple levels above what we're seeing here. So they're going to have to, when they get up to that level, whether it be Teaspoon or the boys, they're going to have to be able to pick up the pace and kind of react to that gameplay.
That's going to be a tall order for anybody considering just how high octane that is. But once again, we have seen interesting upsets here at the arena. This will be far from the first time that there has been a totally wild turnaround of events like that. So I got my fingers crossed that this next match is going to be a surprise in more ways than one. But Tornado landing a shot like that, not too much of a surprise. That is quite clean when the situation calls for it.
Defense on the boys. You're 3 of you in net. One of you's got to be up to get on that. You guys got to communicate better, see who's going to be going for that and rotate out. To have the net stacked like that and then have a slow bouncer just kind of lob in like that, it's almost demoralizing.
It is a tough thing to deal with, to be sure. But once again, we have 2 minutes 58 seconds on the clock. There's time to get things done, and the energy thus far does not feel as dominant as any of the matches we saw even earlier on. Once again, we saw Teaspoon have some difficulty earlier in the match, but this doesn't feel like that at all. So Teaspoon has recovered from that at the very least. They're not dealing with that much trouble with the boys here.
No, certainly. This is definitely a back and forth affair as it is right now. Both teams able to keep up with each other. It's going to come down to who can capitalize on the looks that they get.
So far, Teaspoon has a slight edge here, but the boys not too far behind at all. Once again, with things operating at a little bit more of a slow pace, that margin, I'd imagine by the end of this, the margin's not going to be that long. The total points is probably not going to be hitting the upper percentiles. We are really taking our time with these possessions. But at the same time, because it is due to the gameplay being slower and not because it is just harder to land the actual shots.
Excellent shot from Peachy, top right with some heat too. Kind of a statement goal, if anything.
Absolutely, and a strong statement at that.
Right off the bounce into the right. If you even hit that ball slightly to the right, that's bouncing off the post and likely into your own net.
Got to be careful at all times here. Now Teaspoon feeling like they might be ramping up their energy.
Certainly seem to be ramping up the speed.
Which, as we discussed, they're going to need to do. Case in point.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. You had the look on defense there. I believe that is Soul down there in the back. Just came a little bit too fast off the wall, got ahead of the ball, wasn't able to readjust and get the save.
It is a thing of beauty so far. Teaspoon is starting to really come alive, and this is, like we mentioned, they need this to not just win this game, but the next.
Yes.
So they've got to keep this energy going. If it's to treat this like just a demo run before getting into the big leagues.
Another quick strike from Tornado.
God.
He was our first one to get the hat trick in the very first season, the very first series of this tournament. So he still seems to be in striking form.
There is that energy and that power that we're getting to see more of. Tornado might be the saving grace for Teaspoon. Not just here, but in the match beyond. And keep in mind, a minute 45 seconds left on the clock. and that is it.
That's a rough clear from Soul as the last man back there. You're going to want to try and keep that ball close to you and maybe escort it to the corner, because just hitting it out center like that, you're going to have a blue member waiting just to eat that up.
More of a misplay for the boys there than...
Certainly.
But still, good play by Teaspoon, of course.
100%. To have that person in position and ready for that is a thing of its own, but it could have been avoided had he just been able to get control of the ball off the ceiling.
I really am not seeing it's a very narrow path, I'll say, for the boys to potentially turn this around, because they basically are going to have a similar awakening to whatever happened to Teaspoon after the first about minute of this match.
And we got our another Brazil to knock down into the tournament for today.
That is not the energy they were hoping for. Not what I was trying to spin for the boys here as I gave that preview. Again, that window is getting more and more narrow as time goes on.
The boys need to up the aggression at this point. Maybe try switching it up on kickoff, try and get some fakes in there. Go for some demos, get upfield. Got to get things moving.
At this point, there is no reason not to go for the most completely ludicrous plays you can think of.
Absolutely.
Because
try it all.
Only conditions are you pull some wild nonsense and jump ahead, or you're going to lose one way or another. So if you try big and you start to lose by more, you are not really...
At least you tried something.
Yeah, you're not losing out on anything other than a couple more numbers being against you.
Ball in the blue half, but I don't think it's going to stay there for too long. Tornado with the clear off to his side wall.
Cruising around again.
Oh, that's an unfortunate touch. Either that or a miscommunication to get the ball out of there.
Again. Get back.
All this dead time on the ball is just going to be killer, especially if we're moving into the winner's bracket later. You're not going to have this much time on the ball just sitting there idly. There's going to be a player on it, so you need to be there to react and adjust accordingly. All right, wrapping up the last 30 seconds of this game here. Nice double kickoff. There goes something different than we were talking about.
Big shot from deep. There's the play goes backboard there, trying to send it through, not going to land.
Sal's going to want that one back. He had the look there, but just hit it off the wall, unfortunately. Tornado taking another pot shot, and the net is open again. Teaspoon looking to wrap up their best of one here and head into the winner's bracket, and it's seemingly they're going to be doing that with little contention from the boys. The game started off rather back and forth. They guys were keeping up with each other, but Teaspoon came out, took control, seemed to outpace the boys.
Along the side, guiding that into open lane here. 3 precious seconds left. We're going to be able to see one more shot go through. That is in nobody's hands, so the answer is no. But hey, 9-1 ain't bad. Teaspoon absolutely has the mojo back.
Yeah, certainly they really handled their opponent in that match there. It's got to be a big confidence boost heading into the winner's bracket. It goes back to that first series they had played. They took control of it, ran away with it. Hopefully they can keep that energy coming in, but whoever they end up facing in the winner's bracket, that's going to be a much faster paced game. So unless they're able to keep up with that pace, might have the same result, but just on the flip.
So let's take a look at the highlights and see exactly what kind of gameplay we are hoping to see a repeat of the next time we call them to the stage. Look at that, the beginnings of greatness here. The boys landing their opening shot, only for Teaspoon to be so pressed by that they decide to really kick things into high gear, and from there it was a Teaspoon game, and it only picked up speed more and more as the game went on.
Yeah, and it looked like it was Tornado who had heat up once again just in the series. I think the key factor for Teaspoon moving forward is going to be trying to get as many looks to Tornado as possible. He seems to be their surest striker, and he's playing what seems to be the second man role. So he's usually going to be around the net. If you can get him the open looks, he's going to put them away. That's probably going to be key to what's going to keep them into the winner's bracket when they get in there.
Send rolling back over again. You saw that successful hit there by Soul. Beautiful in action as it was. These are the kinds of moments that are going to be required just to be competitive this next game, but at the same time, in much much less frequent abundance. We will see these opportunities that we're taking advantage of here for Teaspoon very, very infrequently in this next game compared to this one, no matter who they're up against.
Yeah, as I had mentioned during the game, just all that dead time where you see the ball bouncing across, especially bouncing across in front of the net like that, that's not going to be happening in a higher elo game. So they're going to have to be much more reactive and on top of the ball as it's parading around the field. Because if you give an open look to, say, someone like Dries, he's going to nail that shot 9 times out of 10, and you're going to regret it.
At the same time, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, I'd imagine, to hold on to that kind of momentum and everything. You don't have the consistent dopamine release of getting something off of it on a regular basis. Once that ball gets rolling, you start scoring, that amps you up.
Yeah, of course.
Instead, it's going to be a struggle the whole time.
Oh, yeah. We have an updated bracket we're going to take a look at.
Give us an opportunity to see what is lurking ahead.
Oh, and it looks like the Randoms are making their way into the grand finals, and now Teaspoon is going to be up against the wall for their final run of this tourney against the Legend Killers. Legend Killers are playing very good against the Randoms, so unless Teaspoon is able to pick up the pace, I unfortunately am going to have to favor with the Legend Killers already.
That means, however, if Teaspoon does manage this will be a true test of grit, a true test of might.
Make me eat my words, please.
If they make that happen, this is the underdog story. They
100%.
They started off hot, had a fall from grace, and a full sweep back under the end. That is like a Rocky movie.
Of course.
It would be cinematic.
Hey, I'll start marching in Philadelphia if it happens.
At the same time, though, if Legend Killers is hit onto the back foot, springs back to go back to brawling against randoms, that kind of resiliency, very inspiring in and of its own right.
Oh, 100%. I think it's going to, especially in this upcoming game in the losers bracket with the Legend Killers versus Teaspoon, it's going to come down to who comes out early. I think from what's been shown from Teaspoon so far in their games, their momentum. So if they start to go down, you can kind of see in their gameplay, they're either slugging off, kind of playing slow. They need to come out fast, get boost control, get ball control, take it to the Legend Killers, or it's going to be a rough outing.
Excited to see it, but we do have a quick break, so you have another moment to recuperate from all the action. But when we come back, we'll be diving headfirst into the next thrilling bout in our Rocket League tournament.
Don't worry about me, I'm just blazing. My dance moves are excellent and with precision. Get down, baby, you can't stand in a dance competition. Glistening, flashy like a spotlight, shining like a diamond, party all night. Tell me you love me, I wanna see the stars, eyes wide shut, then meet me at the bar. Yeah, right. Yeah. You ain't ready. I'm coming through the room, turn the bass out. Y'all been sleeping on me, better wake up. Put your fly gear on, do your makeup, drop it real low, and pick it back up. Excellent, bustin' with the best of them, simply impressive, no worrying or stressing them. I'm getting mine right now, put your shades on and let me show you how.
And welcome back, everybody. I hope you are comfortable, but still hype enough. So not too comfortable, because certainly we have a lot of energy that's about to be coming your way, and you're not going to want to be caught off guard by our losers' final match. This is the game to decide who is going to be going up against our so far on track to be champions Randoms in Winners Grand Finals. Noah, how are you feeling?
I'm excited for this loser final. Teaspoon, if they step up and they get this out, I think it goes back to that underdog story we were kind of talking about earlier. I would love to see that happen. Hoping for some close game, or at least a close game. This is a best of one in the losers final. So Teaspoon's on that back foot, trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. Legend Killers looking to get through this and get their rematch against Randoms.
So whatever happens, it will happen fast.
There's certainly, either way, a good storyline.
Do not blink. You are not going to want to miss even a moment of this, because it really is going to be decided even more quickly than the first game that got our competitors in the losers bracket in the first place were decided. This also means that we have a stronger chance of there being like a real flash in the pan kind of a moment. If we get to see Teaspoon catch a good break, play that aggression, and manage to keep their opponents off guard, that could be the deciding factor that gives them a chance against Randoms.
And we're going to see if that's how it's going to turn out.
Ooh, there we go up in the air.
And once again, folks, this is going to be a best of one in the losers final.
Not getting the immediate shot. Honestly, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what Teaspoon fans out there should be have been hoping for, is an immediate pop-up into goal. Somebody was off their game. Somebody wasn't catching it, or was just too fast an angle. Now that this is a fight, you know Legend Killers has the upper hand, at least on paper.
Up over the bars, anyone going to be there to clean it up? Doesn't look like it. Thankfully for Teaspoon, Soul's able to get that clear out to the side.
Seeing them rotate back out again.
Oh.
Oh, Pugadrug.
Great placement. He was keenly aware of the defender coming in from that left side of the net, so to place it in front of him, that's what made the difference in getting that goal across. Because Tornado was there. Oh, I'm sorry, not in front of him, behind him.
Phenomenal hit there. Now, the immediate pop-up into a goal for Teaspoon. Nope. It could have happened. You never know. But at the very least, that lack of the early game outright aggression that managed to completely blindside Legend Killers has not come to pass. This is going to have to be a good old-fashioned slugfest if they are going to be able to make it through this. There is no easy path to victory here, but we are all hoping for, at the very least, Teaspoon to show out some of that momentum and resilience that we saw on display in the last game here to make sure that this is a competitive bout.
It'll be telling how well Teaspoon's able to stay composed on defense for the remainder of this game. That's going to be crucial as to what decides it. So far, Legend Killers have dominated the possession into the orange half, taking boosts. Legend Killers haven't been too aggressive with the demos, though. I thought for sure they were going to come out and I'm just going to start seeing people get deleted out of net, but so far they've been pretty tame. And just as I say that, Slayer getting it started.
Nice demo there. Circling.
Great 50 from Peachy in the midfield.
That is on target, but there's plenty of defense there to handle that. Slayer taking it right out. Not getting any easy walk-ups into the net in this game.
Great positioning from Slayer to be there to get that kept into the orange field.
That brought closer to center.
Bit of a double commit on the orange side. This might be a scoring opportunity for Legend Killers.
Might be, but not. The defense is
great save from Peachy getting in front of that.
On target again. Close.
Trouble in net. Nope, able to get it cleared out. Soul rotating out and getting the boost. That's going to be crucial.
Needed a demo there or somebody behind it to pick that up for him to get that to connect. At the very least, it's still contentious. Teaspoon is not going down without a fight.
Yeah,
in fact, it's only 1-0. They could tie this up.
Great control, and what a shot from Pugadrug.
It'll be a little harder now, but they can still tie this up.
I'd be interested to see. Looks like it was Soul caught up rotating a bit too far. It was just clean beat to that challenge. That's an open net.
As much as, again, we want to believe in Teaspoon's ability to come back here, and they do still have that ability, what needs to happen for them to create some openings? Because I haven't seen very many myself.
They need to get aggressive. Start getting in some demos. Throw off the Legend Killers out of the rotation. Like, when you're playing in a game and you got your teammates, you're rotating, you get used to how things are going to go about in the game as far as the flow, where your teammate's going to be, where they should be at on the field. You get those demos in there, it throws a wrench in their plans. They get kind of lost. You get to take advantage of that confusion and hopefully get a look on net.
Easier said than done, and yet really the only path to victory here.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You really needed to make that shot. Legend Killers were just kind of calamity in their own net there, and you had the open look, but it was just bar down.
Unfortunate indeed. That's not going to be a shot opportunity here. Popped up. Can somebody
Open
come by
net for
and hit
blue
that?
unless someone's there. Okay.
No, not quite. Teaspoon, effective defend there.
Good on Soul to keep possession of that,
And yet-
but even better on
and yet-
Puggerlug to get the dunk. Oh, close
not
one. Anyone
quite.
there?
Peachy doing excellent work there.
Teaspoon's holding on by a thread here. They really need to get control of the ball and get it into that blue half. Keeping it in front of their net in these dangerous situations like that is not doing them any favors.
There's Puggerdrag again coming through with a perfect angle,
Off
but
the
another
ceiling.
deflect.
Slayer opting to get out of that and go for the defense. That's actually very smart, as I was going to sail right over him.
Teaspoon is fighting for their lives right now, but what a fight it is. Oh no!
Oh, that's unfortunate. I believe it was, I'm going to have to see who was in net here, but they were looking and hoping that Tornado was going to be able to get this touch up in the mid. Just unfortunately, there was enough power above it that got beat to it. Great strong touch and just went right over their head into the net. They're going to need, I'd like to see some kind of variance in kickoff here. No, they just go for the straight standard.
The Never Say Die Spirit persevering through to the very end, though, with close to a minute on the clock now. Teaspoon really
That's a
needs
triple
miracle.
commit. That is just disastrous.
Oh no, but they're looping around and they manage it.
Able to get back, but again, they're all low boost and they're out of position.
Not a great spot
Great
to be
touch
in.
by Soul, but just Slayer's right there, able to take the shot. When you get these clears, as Soul is able to, you'll notice how it just pops out straight middle like that. You're usually going to have a opposing player waiting for that kind of touch, so you might have had a better chance just trying to take that to the corner, but just looks like the Legend Killers have Teaspoon's number this game. All right, some antics going on kickoff here.
Indeed, a little bit of shenanigans to start us up, but
Oh, what a dunk.
with a game that is 5-0 now, you can't imagine there won't be some degree of nonsense going on at the very end. You start either pushing hard to try and make the comeback happen, or you're in a lead that big. You start doing some more ambitious things, either completely shut down your opponent's options, or to stunt a little bit.
Yeah, maybe get a highlight or two.
Yeah. And we're all in our heart of hearts hoping for a clip.
Just the difference there in this game was you notice Puggerdrag went up for that defensive touch. He cleared it into his corner and kept it close enough to him to where he could keep control of it, as opposed to where that last shot where we had Soul on Teaspoon, cleared it right to the center and it resulted in a shot directly on their net.
Bounce there. Now you're trying to come by and catch it, but instead that is going to be sent flying.
Legend Killers looking to just wrap up this last 28 seconds here, get back in for their rematch against Randoms. Oh, ambitious double.
Ooh, clean opening towards the goal there. Chris Bones on the hit.
Coming in on the cleanup. Yeah, just the unfortunate story for Teaspoon is they just weren't able to get out of defense. They were in defense the whole game, and they weren't able to communicate as far as getting that out. And then when they would make those touches that would clear out and potentially get them a counterattack, it's cleared right into a Legend Killers player.
Circling back on again. 10 seconds remaining, and I gotta be honest, don't think the comeback is happening here.
Nope, unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed.
Legend Killers manages to maintain their composure, maintain that player efficiency, and despite being knocked into loser's bracket here, they have shown that they are just as smooth, that the nerves have not rattled the skill off of these players, and they are coming back for revenge.
Yeah, they want the Randoms again in this final. A good run from Teaspoon nonetheless to make their way through that loser's bracket into the loser's finals. Take that third place, you're still getting a bit of the prize pool, so can't be too unhappy.
Absolutely, top of the bracket. That is something to be proud of, and of course, their great performances, all the great plays that we did get to see from Teaspoon, some of which we're going to take a look at here once again, are evidence of the power and proficiency on this team's side. And again, for those of you who do not frequent the arena, please give it some consideration if you're going to be in the area, because absolutely, we get games like this on a regular basis. You'll get the experience of coming back sometime soon and seeing Teaspoon come through and end up in winners finals next game. You'll get the experience to see them adapt over time, look back on matches like these and see, who knows, maybe another time we will get a run back between Teaspoon and Legend Killer sometime down the line and see them come through even stronger.
And any tournament experience is great experience. This kind of high pressure live setting, it's something that's unmatched as far as you can't even compare it to playing ranked or an online tournament. It's just not the same. Having the eyes on you, being there, you look to your left and you see your opponent. It's just a mental game. It's this kind of experience I think will play well for them if they do decide to come back and make another run.
Absolutely. This is something very unique to the energy of locking eyes with somebody. Being able to get a moment like this go through and then you could just turn around and look at the man that did that.
Yep.
It is a definitely unique kind of energy, but like my co-host is saying, it is invaluable experience. And part of what I love so much about living in this city, about being close to the arena, and getting to show out here myself a couple of times on a pretty regular basis and see these kind of things go down.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get into this grand final series. These guys were close. Randoms took it off them in a 2-1, but the Legend Killers took a game off the Randoms, and that's saying something because those are three very excellent players. And as we keep mentioning, one of them is a grand finalist in the last NA Major. So to take a game off those guys is crazy. Chris Bones, I think, will be the key for them getting into this next game. His rotations as third man, keeping that ball in under pressure and everything like that, that's what's going to keep them keeping the pressure on the blue half or orange half, whichever team they get into. Keep the pressure on their opponent's half, get those goals in. We're going to see how it goes.
We are indeed, but first we're going to see a quick break go by. But do not worry, it will be mere moments before we return with our grand final game, so do not go anywhere. And welcome back, folks. It is time. We have been racing, charging, struggling, bit by bit, game by game towards this, the grand finale, the culmination of everything that you've seen go through over the course of the day is finally here, and it is time for the run back when it comes to two high-tier competitors that we have known were front runners from the very beginning. Time to get into our grand finals. Noah, how are you feeling?
I'm beyond excited. I'm waiting to see how the Legend Killers bounce back from taking the L in the winners bracket to Randoms. I believe, as much as we're hyping up Dries, because of course, his teammates are playing excellent as is too. We have Heps and Wellis. Wellis has been taking part in a lot of aerial plays, showing off the kind of finesse he has with his car moving in the air, going for insane angles on double taps. And Heps looks to be the dimer of the team. Just keeps setting up, whether it be Dries or Wellis, in the air, on the ground. He's there to get the ball to you.
It's an incredible thing to see these three in action together. Not only are they clearly individually high-skilled players, but we are also looking at the fact that, again, they have that teamwork, that coordination. You cannot, a thing that is, again, absent from a lot of online ranked play at times, the understanding that you cannot play this high level without communication, without that synergy, without working with the team. No matter how good you alone are on your angles, you need that support and cooperation.
Yeah, and before we head in, we're going to take one final look at the bracket, how it's played out so far today.
It's been a wild day, looking back fondly on our early game leads and the turnarounds immediately thereafter for some.
Yeah.
It has brought us here.
Always a great start to a tournament to get a couple Brazils in on the first couple series there.
Always a great energy, which has shown just how capable and how strong these individuals are.
100%. And as we head into this final series in the grand finals, this is going to be a best of three again between Randoms and Legend Killers. If it ends up being a bracket reset, it's going to be a best of one.
So keep in mind that with all that here, Legend Killers has some extra work to do to make this win happen.
Exactly. For those unfamiliar with the bracket reset process, if the Legend Killers are able to take the best of three in this series, since they are coming from the loser's bracket, they have to again beat them in a best of one situation.
You can think of it as they have to win a game to win the opportunity to win the tournament against that same opponent.
Exactly, and that's why the Randoms are definitely going to be happy coming in off the winners finals.
One of them has to win twice, one of them only has to do it, clear things once. That means the pressure is on for Legend Killers. Truly a test of might and a test of skill. But we have seen in that last game that they have not slowed down even for an instant.
Might have a good look on net here for the Legend Killers.
Deflected there, sailing ahead.
Drees again with another car switch. He stays in the Octane, but opts for the nice Stocktane decal.
Side that's going to once again climb the wall. There's Wellis with it. Puckadrug trying to go for the defense, not going to be in line for it, unfortunately, but that is prevented from going through. Big demo there by Drees.
Got a clear coming in. I would see Drees take control of this. Oh, booms it down. Oh, he's got Wallace downfield. Can he get the touch?
That's deflected further over.
What a touch. So we have Orange kind of heading into net as fast as they can here. Drees in an awkward spot. Not too awkward for him, as it seems. Wallace with the clear. It looks like Wallace, too, opting for a car switch out of the Octane and into the Fennec. Good corner touch into the net there to kind of keep the ball out of a dangerous spot. Puckadrug's got control, tries it. Oh, gets the mid pass. This could be dangerous for randoms. Slayer pushed up, caught out of position. This is leaving a 1v1 situation in the net. Oh, okay. Puckadrug takes control.
Losing by. This one's get deflected. Close to goal, but not quite going through.
It's a good clear. Heps is likely going to pop it up. Let me see if Wellis turns in on this from upfield. He does. Straight up and in. Very defensive game so far. Each team kind of reacting and seeing how they're going to come up and attack. And despite randoms getting in some pretty brutal demos as far as the rotation's going to be affected, it hasn't really affected the Legend Killers too much.
Certainly doesn't seem like this is absolutely still a very, very contentious match, meaning that we are seeing Legend Killers return to form. Appears to be very, very effective here. Might have been a little bit of a tune-up game in between. Getting that momentum back and being able to sort of readjust the mindset could have been very, very helpful.
Yeah, very well could have been, especially getting back into communicating and getting their rotations back down to what they probably practice and are used to.
One might also speculate that it might have been the first-hand experience paying off. Perhaps there was a bit more room to grow for Legend Killers to come ahead and to figure out an effective strategy against randoms. And now that they've had the ability to demo that once and now put it into play from the very beginning, might be in a better spot overall.
Yeah, just in coming from the last series, they have a lot of experience playing against these guys, so they should have an idea how they want to attack. Great speed from Drees to beat that guy in the middle.
Goes both ways, though. Random's well aware of what Legend Killers has to offer. And is going to be prepared for all of it. Already beaten it once. Should have the ability to beat it again. This definitely feels like this is a fitting finale for the day that we have had. These two are going at it. Not an ounce of give on either end of the field.
Oh, we had a double commit from the Legend Killers. This could be bad.
Ooh, but not quite there on target
Able
for a
to
hit.
save it out.
And it's a defensive position.
Great
Second
clear
down.
from Slayer.
Wellis with another hit towards orange goal.
These kind of touches you're seeing where they keep it close to him and utilize that sidewall to get another
my
touch
God.
onto it. Chris Bones with a laser beam to the bottom left. How did he get so much power onto this?
Fantastic shot. Let's look at the replay and see if it gives the answers. I don't feel like it does.
Oh.
The man comes in, the crescent moon arc, and gets an absolute bomb.
You'll notice he air rolled to kind of show us the belly of his car in that replay, and that allows him to get a nice solid touch with the front end of his car. That's what's going to translate that power into the shot.
It is that
Ball
clean
down.
toe tip
Oh.
hit. And right after, a response by none other than Drees.
It's the volatility of kickoffs. Who can read these bounces better, and who else but Drees to read these ceiling touches in the game sense?
Now, one can ask themselves, is a kickoff shot like that a little bit less indicative of a turn in energy than the ones that you have to sort of fight for mid-grueling game?
If anything, it probably just takes the wind out of Legend Killers. You know, like I said, they spent a good 3.5 minutes breaking down the defense to get that shot across the middle, and then just right off the kickoff to already blow that lead they had worked for.
One way or another, though, we are 1-1, meaning this is still very much so anybody's round with a minute 3 seconds.
Excellent pass and shot. Drees to Heps. I believe Heps was already airborne when he hit this shot.
Curling mid-air,
Oh,
right into
man.
Heps.
That's just synergy of playing with him for a long time. You don't do that with randoms.
Not at all.
Well, forgive me, these randoms seem to get it done, yeah.
Ironically, yeah. Yeah, here we are looking at another kickoff headed right towards goal, but there's nobody to capitalize on that. It's a threat, though. That constant pressure of seeing it sail towards your goal it wears on the nerves. Even when you know there's no one to back it up. it gets to the nervous system, very, very much so.
Yeah, and that comes down to the game sense of just playing the game often. You realize in certain situations where the opponent should be, so you know whether or not to take the time with the ball or try and clear it as fast as you can. We got going on 30 seconds here. The Legend Killers need to get something happening and fast if they want to tie this game up and at least send it into OT.
There's shooting by. There's once again Chris Bones using himself as a meteor.
Oh, Slayer's going to wish he made some contact with that.
Ooh, yeah, that looks like this might be bad here. We have 9 seconds left on the clock. Legend Killers needs a hit now. If they're going to be able to get it now with a deflect like that coming through, I think this might be the round.
Great on Heps to recognize he needed to get in front of that ball to cut off any opportunity. That's a wayward touch. There it is. Chris Bones coming in with the hero read from the touch off the ceiling. Bit of a miscommunication from the randoms here. They guys both went for it and ended up pinching it off of each other. Oh man, Chris Bones coming out, being the hero. First OT of the day. I am excited. I don't know about anyone else in the arena.
It's not over until it is over. What a better way to wrap up our day than to have an OT in our grand finals match. This is an opportunity now here for Legend Killers to start off with a great momentum, but even if they do not, the fact that they tied in the first round is a great starting energy to have for your comeback run.
Yes, sir. Got to get the confidence flowing one way or another.
Air, once again, looking for a pop-up opportunity here.
Good on Wellis to take his time controlling that ball and just absorbing the 50.
Get nice and steady.
Nice pinch cleared out of the blue half. That's going to give him some time to get some boost.
Get it up. That gets deflected again.
Chris Bones again, just playing his excellent role as third man. Right where he needed to be and took control of the ball just like he needed to.
Gets bumps mid-air. Once again, hunting for an opportunity here, way up at the top. That's going to be sent sailing way over to the other end of the field.
Yeah, Drees was definitely looking for Wallace there, but just ended up getting the pinch off the ceiling instead of the touch he wanted.
That's on target, though!
What a shot from Wellis. Let me see. I want to say it was a flip reset. Oh, man, the area control you have to make a shot like that is just unreal. Went through all three defenders of the Legend Killers with a just excellent show of skill in the solo play there. Great shot from Wellis, and that's going to send us into game 2.
That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. We just mentioned how we need to gas up more of the players on randoms, and clearly Wellis is saying, hey, say my name a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Wellis is getting tired of probably me talking so much about Drees. He's like, listen, man, I'm on this team too, and I can hit these shots. So.
Say my name a little bit more.
Yeah, so
certainly he's earned it.
Absolutely. Wellis with just an incredible shot there. I just can't stress enough the amount of control you need of your car in the air to pull off a shot of that caliber is just insane.
I truly cannot even imagine what I would have to do to make a car do that.
Oh, man.
I am incapable of even replicating it. Like that is, I couldn't do that in gym, let alone in game.
Oh man. Close shot there on Wellis. Chris Bones right being the Johnny on the spot in the net there getting the save.
A little bit distance. They get it from afar. Still nobody online to bring it through.
Starting off early, these passes are connecting real well for the Legend Killers, and it's leading them into a great look on net. A lot of players, especially in ranked, will just take from, if they're in Slayer's position, would have took the chance to take the shot on net, but that would have been cleared. So it was very smart of him to recognize that getting that touch off of the backboard to his teammate is going to lead to the much more sure opportunity of getting a score.
Right up. On the side, they're going to go sailing and to get deflected at the last minute. I don't think that was on target.
No, it would have been up above, but there were certainly a couple random players lurking below the net trying to spot that out.
No such chance so far. Really sailing through the air to make sure that doesn't go anywhere.
Legend Killers have definitely seemed to up the aggression here. That was a very aggressive challenge from Chris Bones, his third man, to get in there and try and stop that seal or seal it off from the midfield.
And is it working out for them? It seems like it's paying dividends.
In this first minute, it sure is.
As is that gonna be able to persevere through the very end?
Heps is gonna want that back. That was an opportunity to punish that aggressive play that the Legend Killers have been exhibiting so far. That net was open. Heps is going to be beating himself up about that one.
That might be one of the very few big whiffs we get to see, but at the same time, if they're having to play that more aggressive game and they're on the back foot, we may see more openings like that come through. They are keeping themselves going through sheer grit and skill, but they've got a lot of stress on them right now.
Yeah, right now the Legend Killers are just controlling the game. They've got the midfield boost, and they've even swarmed in to get a couple of the corner boosts as well.
Given how much work that is, does it seem like they're going to be able to make that last all the way through the next 3 minutes of not just this, but all the work is going to have to happen for them to get the full bracket reset?
It is obviously going to be a challenge playing against the team the caliber of Randoms have shown so far, but they're playing really well right now, so if they're able to keep this level up, it's at the very least going to be a close series.
And what a win to have on your record. We want to talk about morale boost. You walk out of here having taken a win against a team like Randoms, and you pretty much just get to have the best attitude ever for the rest of your month. You can go on ranked, get absolutely destroyed, and go, better man, I beat Drees.
Hey, yeah, I'm sure the Legend Killers are probably going to be looking through the highlights, see if they can pull a clip of them scoring on Drees. That's definitely one to post on the socials.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that is an very on-target shot.
Oh, crossbar and out. That is unfortunate. Drees had so much power on that. If that had hit just maybe a little bit lower on the bar, that was in.
Gotta be nerve-wracking for Legend Killers, but hey, they're keeping their heads above water. So far, they're the only ones with points on the board. A single point, yeah. Plural is inaccurate of me, but still.
I mean, to the credit of the Randoms, even though they've let that one goal in, they've been pretty composed and staying on defense and getting the clears that they need to when necessary.
They sure have, and we're no doubt going to be getting to see more of that very, very flawless defensive measures. In case you were worried that Randoms put into a pressure situation wouldn't have the defense to match the offense, they are absolutely still as well coordinated, still as efficient as they've ever been.
Yeah, and the shot that went in was a very well-placed shot, so the defense was there. It's just at that point, you got outplayed.
Once again, we are aerial, and once again, we are coming in hot, but that is going to be
That's going to be brutal. Oh, Heps again with the open net opportunity and just isn't able to put it home. There's been a couple times that he's had the opportunity to punish the aggressive rotations on the Legend Killers and just hasn't been able to put the net away.
Guiding that through, but
What
it's
a
going to miss
oh.
the defense, but it's still blocked from going through. Legend Killers will not give Randoms an inch.
Paga drug the hero of that situation. Not only did he get the touch out of net, but he got it straight up, so there was no shot of a follow-up.
Absolutely wild. Once again, the amount of life or death situations Legend Killers are finding themselves in here, I wouldn't be surprised if they walk off stage with the gray hair. I feel tired just watching them do these defense.
That's so unfortunate. Slayer hesitated just enough, and Wellis was able to put that away. He was there to get the touch on it, but he just thought about it for maybe a millisecond too longer, and that's the difference in these kind of high elo games. Great shot from Wellis, though, to get enough arc on it to sail it into net.
Absolutely crazy.
These kickoffs have been very volatile, so we'll see how this one turns out.
Absolutely crazy.
Oh, Heps is going to be upset he missed that boost there.
Now the trouble is, now that we are 1-1, Legend Killers has to be a little bit more aggressive even because they got to get that lead back.
It's a tough balancing act you're going to have to play here. You got to be aggressive, but again, if this game realistically very well could have been 3-1 at this point, because Heps had 2 opportunities to punish the aggressive rotations, but just luckily for the Legend Killers wasn't able to put the ball away.
Even here, it feels like Legend Killers, even though they are holding steady, it feels like they are working slightly harder than Randoms is. And that might be a point against them.
Well, I mean, I think just by nature of how the format this tournament's running, they're going to have to work harder, because even if they pull out the best of 3 here, they got the bracket reset, they're going to have to play them again.
Very, very difficult thing to work their way through, but the fact that they are doing that, they are making it happen, is extremely admirable. And it looks like we're headed to overtime, unless in these last few moments,
a set on this.
That's nice and wide open, but there's the defense.
Paga Drug has been just the man on defense. He's been there with those incredible saves and getting there on time to challenge these players when they're in air. Into overtime, kickoff goes in the favor of the Legend Killers. Drees with a crucial 50 to get it into the mid.
Now we get to see if Legend Killers can snatch one more victory at the very end here. That was
Ooh,
close.
It was close. Great defense from Heps. We had a couple orange players dive in there. This could be a good look for Randoms.
Could be.
Nope, Slayer coming in, making sure nothing's going to happen on the side of it.
Here once again hunting for the next well-aimed shot here, deflected. A little bit of pass work back and forth.
Chris Bones getting put in the spotlight there. 1v1 versus Drees, able to get the ball away from him though.
Arcing back around. Big tip there, but there's Wellis in position. That is on target, but it's going to get deflected. No one able to hit it back through.
Dangerous situation. Legend Killers just need to keep their composure, get a hold of that ball again, keep the pressure on the blue half. Great fake from Chris Bones, shot over. Drees' third man waiting for it.
Sent rolling over to the side. Fighting for it there.
Good cut off from Chris again. This could be a counter-attack opportunity. Chris is upfield. Unfortunately, no boost for him, though. Slayer's going to try and put this mid. Dries has been living on the backboard. He's trying to force them on the infield passing. A lot of the times these teams will try to go for passes off the backboard or the ceiling, but when you have someone or to the caliber of Dries defensively on the backboard, you don't really get to use that anymore. So he's trying to force them to put on these infield passes if they want to score.
It's a tough thing to ask of anybody, truly.
That was a dangerous opportunity as well. Legend Killer is lucky to come out of that.
This is nerve-wracking as we continue on. 1:43 seconds of overtime thus far, and still no shot hit. We could be here for a while.
Pagadrug just remaining to be that fortress in the net for the Legend Killers. He seems to be there whenever they need him, just like that touch right there.
Deflected and flying it again.
All right, good clear gives Legend Killers some chance to get some boost. Slayer already aggressive and up for that.
Oh, so close there to a potential connect. Random's in danger for a brief moment. And here we are way back over the other end of things. There's Willis trying to line up a shot, but still, Legend Killers never slowing down even for a minute. They cannot afford to.
Great 50 from Dries just to be able to maneuver the ball in a manner to just pop it right over the defender.
Oh,
no,
that is
not
so
like
dangerous,
this.
not like this.
Oh, what a save. Okay.
Oh, my blood pressure. Oh, my heart rate. Oh, God. That was almost it. I saw their life flash before my eyes.
Oh, man. Chris would have woke up in a cold sweat if he owned gold dunk.
What a way to finish things up.
Great flick. This is a counteract opportunity. Nope. Okay, Hex was back there able to clear it out and make it safe.
That is going right for goal yet again, but they defend well.
You can tell
Wallace coming in.
Time goes on. Pressure's certainly mounting. I'm already noticing just the rotations coming out of the defensive end for both sides. They're starting to double commit more. They're nervous. They want this game over.
It's got to end at some point here. Funny enough, though, if this ends for Legend Killers, it continues on for Legend Killers. We'll then have to win a second game here and then another game after that.
Yeah.
Up. Bounces off the wall there. We're on line for it. It might happen here. Not quite on target even now. That's a dangerous situation. Well, it still doesn't have the angle. We're back in neutral territory.
Gonna have to. Oh,
that
is
is close.
in?
That is close.
And there
That's
it is. Random securing the win. Heps getting to redeem himself after missing a few of those open nets in the middle of the game, but he's there when he needed to be. Oh, it's an unfortunate bounce for Pagadrug. He's kind of just waiting and hoping that the bar forgives him and lets it bounce out to the corner, but unfortunate for him, it didn't.
Look at how close that last shot was, too. That barely a nano-angstrom to the right,
yep.
And that would have bounced off into the distance. We would have kept running through that, and yet here we are with Randoms managing to maintain their pace.
Yeah, the bar giveth, the bar taketh away, unfortunately. So that bounce could have went either way. It just went to the favor of the Randoms in that one.
That was absolutely crazy. I'm tired. I'm exhausted just watching it, but I can't imagine how much energy it took to run that game.
I think the build-up just in the tournament going into this point led in perfectly. These guys really showed out, especially for the last game to be in an overtime match like that. It's intense. So kudos to them for even keeping it in the overtime for as long as they did. That was almost 4 minutes of overtime. And each Rocket League game standard is 5 minutes. So they almost played 2 games in that time span.
Hey, I mean, one way or another, they knew they were going to have to double down. And let's take a look at, my God, those highlights of exactly how hard they doubled down over the course of this. And this was overall a very low-scoring game. Randoms had to fight hard. Harder than I think they have in any other match thus far to make this happen.
Yeah, easily better than any other match they've had so far, particularly with opponents too. Just that shot that we saw just before this with Chris, that was an insane power shot. The passing here, that just comes down to synergy of these guys playing with each other for however long they've been playing. That's just something that the longer you play with somebody, you get an idea. It's like, oh, I see him in the air. Okay, let me position myself over here because I know that ball's coming over here.
They were in kindergarten practicing Rocket League.
Exactly.
How you ask Hot Wheels. They were practicing before the game was developed or conceived entirely.
I believe it.
And also, of course, for you folks out there, thank you so much for joining us, being a fantastic audience in this tournament, but we have more Rocket League coming up. You might be able to see there on the schedule that there is more Rocket League coming in sometime soon. If you are interested, then go ahead and say something in the chat. You can get a link dropped to that. And of course, if you're here in the arena with us, find one of our arena attendees, and they can give you all the information you need to know about how you can be in on the action for that thrilling bout. There's going to be, of course, another set of elimination tournaments coming through, and of course, plenty more events at the arena in general. Check the schedule, talk to the people here. You're not going to want to miss out.
Not at all, especially if it's going to be the quality of gameplay we just saw.
I mean, it's shocking to imagine games like these, games with this high intensity and quality being a regular occurrence, but it really is like this all the time. As great as this was, it is not the only game that's going to be this thrilling, but we've done enough talking. I think we should talk to the champ himself.
Yeah, please, let's get online and have an interview with Drees from the Randoms.
All right, Drees, thank you so much for coming through. This was a spectacle to watch in action. You and your team gave us some of the most thrilling Rocket League games that I think a lot of us here in the arena have seen in a long while. How are you feeling after your big win?
Feeling really good, honestly, because we're out here in Vegas. You know, I wanted to meet a couple of friends and do this tournament too, and it was pretty fun.
How would you say this tournament compared to something like RLCS?
Well, not really as like nerve-wracking compared to like RLCS, but you know, playing at LAN is pretty fun and kind of nervous though too.
No, of course, that online it's vastly different than that online experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we were talking a little bit about the coordination between you and your team, and how long-term are these players on your team in terms of like people that you've played with, people that you've worked with? How deep does the experience between you guys go?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, how long you've been playing with these particular teammates here, able to like coordinate, teamwork that well together out here today?
Well, I've known them for like 3+ years, but we haven't been like playing together. We just joined all together and just played right here.
Oh, so this is just a pickup tournament for you guys, huh?
Yep.
Wow, again, I think that goes to state just how good some of these guys are at Rocket League for them to just come in and say, oh, there's a cash prize tournament going on? Yeah, we stop in real quick, maybe catch a dub.
Slide through and pick that up. This has been, like I mentioned, absolutely phenomenal to watch in action. So overall, how did you feel about that last match with Legend Killers? Was it like a very, very pressed match to have the run back against them? Was it more of the same for you, having to go up against them multiple times? How was it?
Very unexpected because like I haven't like really played any of them before, so I didn't really expect too much. But they're actually pretty good. Like as you could tell, we went into like overtimes both matches.
Definitely showed off a lot of higher potential. Any closing thoughts?
Hey, and that's high compliments coming from, again, a grand finalist in the NA Major. So yeah, no, that's going to be it. Dries, thank you for your time, and thanks for coming in and showing out for the crowd.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, absolutely. I am gassed out. This was a wild event, but it was so much fun. Noah, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any closing thoughts for our fans out there in the audience who have been so good to us this tournament? Thank you again for joining us. You got any words for the people?
Happy you guys came out. Looking forward to the next one. You guys stay safe.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. This is all we have for today, but keep in mind, again, that extra tournament coming in sometime soon. Ask the attendees to look up how you can get involved, how you can get the link to the stream. We will be back again sometime soon, but for now, that is all we have. Thank you so much, and good night.